Assalamualaikum Prof. Kita akan mulakan sesi ni sekejap lagi, dalam 2.30 boleh Prof? Kita tunggu sekejap lagi.
Boleh, no problem.
Okay, 2-3 minit. Okay, Prof, boleh mula Saya mulakan, Prof. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome speakers and participants to the fourth webinar with the theme Inculturations of Digital Education through Open and Distance Learning, ODL. Untuk maklumat semua, webinar ini dipancarkan secara langsung melalui platform Zoom dan juga melalui channel NTA Malaysia di channel YouTube. Okay, dan untuk maklumat juga, siri webinar petang ini adalah merupakan sesi yang terakhir daripada 4 siri webinar yang telah dianjurkan oleh NTA secara bersama dengan Kementerian Pendidikan Tinggi. One of the objective of this webinar is to strengthen digital learning culture and to enhance existing implementation of open and distance learning education conducted by higher education provider in Malaysia. So, insyaAllah, baiklah, pada petang yang berbahagia ini, kita akan sambung sesi yang kedua. So, pada sesi sebelah pagi tadi, kita telah dikongsikan dengan pertentangan dalam tema yang sama, self-instruction material for social science pagi tadi. So, insyaAllah pada petang ini, panel jemputan kita akan berkongsi dengan pembangunan self-instruction material for engineering program atau engineering field. Okay. Untuk maklumat semua, sebagaimana saya maklum, self-instruction material sebenarnya dah menjadi nadi penyampaian pengajaran dalam pembelajaran secara terbuka dan jarak jauh. Kejayaan mana-mana institusi ODL ataupun program itu sendiri banyak bergantung pada ketersediaan bahan pembelajaran dari segi kualiti dan kuantiti. Self-instruction material ini diharap dapat menggantikan apa yang guru lakukan dalam persekitaran pembelajaran secara face-to-face. Semua itu adalah diharapkan perkongsian daripada panel berkaitan penggunaan SIM pada petang ini dapat dijadikan panduan bagi menghasilkan SIM yang berkualiti dan efektif bagi semua program yang akan dilaksanakan. Berkaitan pada kesempatan ini, saya terlebih dahulu mengucapkan setinggi-tinggi penghargaan kepada panel pembentang pada petang ini, iaitu Prof. T.S. Dr. Intan Zaurah Madarus, iaitu Director Center of Academic Experiential Learning, UKM, Institute for Life Ready Graduate. So, apa khabar, Prof?
Baik, Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih.
Selamat datang, Prof. T.S. Dr. Intan Zaurah ke sesi ini.
Terima kasih.
Saya juga mengucapkan terima kasih kepada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang meluangkan masa sebagai peserta yang masih kekal sehingga sesi petang ini bagi mendapatkan panduan dan amalan baik atau tips berkaitan pembangunan self-instruction material khususnya bagi bidang engineering. Justru itu, pastilah course coordinator, pengamal ODL atau sesiapa sahaja yang ingin membangun SIM tidak sabar-sabar lagi untuk mengikuti perkongsian ini dari perspektif bangun SIM khususnya dalam bidang engineering daripada IUTM. Dengan kata lain, apa yang akan disampaikan adalah pengalaman langsung panel yang membangunkan dan melaksanakan SIM bagi program engineering. So, sebagai makluman, ini adalah sedikit agenda pada sesi petang ini. So, selepas ini pada tepat 2.30 akan dilakukan sesi pembentangan oleh Prof. So, kita akan ada sesi Q&A pada pukul 4 insyaAllah. Alright, dan sehabis sesi ini kita akan tamatkan sesi ini. Okay. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, sebelum kita mulakan sesi pada petang ini, izinkan saya membuat pengukutan kepada semua peserta webinar. Bahan pembentangan boleh diakses melalui pautan link yang boleh diakses melalui ruang chat di platform Zoom. Manakala sekiranya tuan-tuan punya sebarang soalan, boleh kemukakan melalui link VJ Pool yang turut disediakan di dalam ruang chat. Hanya soalan yang dikemukakan melalui VJ Pool sahaja yang akan dijawab oleh pemerintah. Soalan akan dibaca pada akhir sesi nanti, insyaAllah. Baiklah, sebelum saya serahkan sesi webinar ini kepada panel jemputan, izinkan saya untuk memperkenalkan secara ringkas sedikit latar belakang mengenai panel webinar pada petang ini. Prof. T.S. Dr. Intan Zaurah mempunyai kelayakan PhD in Soft Computing for Active Vibration Control University of Sheffield, United Kingdom pada tahun 2004 dan mempunyai kelayakan Bachelor Engineering Honours in Mechanical Engineering dengan First Class Honours daripada University of Wales College Cardiff, Wales, United Kingdom pada 1998. Bidang kepakaran beliau adalah pelbagai, antaranya ialah Artificial Intelligence, Control and Automation, Robotic Instrumentation and System Engineering. Beliau telah mendapat beberapa anugerah penyelidikan dan perkhidmatan termasuk dari Kementerian Sains dan Teknologi dan Inovasi Malaysia dan beberapa anugerah pendidikan dari Seoul International Invention Fair. Beliau juga mempunyai 22 tahun pengalaman mengajar dalam pengajian sarjana dan pasca siswaza di Universiti Indonesia sejak tahun 1999. Beliau juga memegang beberapa jawatan sebagai pentadbir akademik di UTM sejak 2012 hingga ini, termasuk pengurus akademik pasca siswaza, jabatan kepala dekan, pejabat pengajian pasca siswaza, dan jawatan terkini beliau pada masa ini adalah pengarah Center of Academic Experiential Learning UTM Institute of Life Ready Graduate, di mana beliau bertanggungjawab untuk meneruskan urusan akademik bagi semua 16,000 pelajar sarjana di UTM. Okay. Seterusnya, seperti yang ditunggu-tunggu bagi menjelaskan dan membuktikan berkenaan pembangunan SIM bagi bidang ini, saya dengan sukacitanya ingin menjemput Prof. Dr. Intan Zaura untuk memulakan pembicaraan. Dipersilakan Prof.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dengar ke suara saya? Clear ke?
Clear Prof. Jelas.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. Boleh saya sharekan slide?
Okay, silakan Prof.
Okey, pertama sekali saya sekali lagi mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Encik Zamrin Salim selaku moderator untuk program pada petang ini. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, dan terima kasih kepada semua rakan-rakan yang sudi mengikuti program pada petang ini. Saya terima kasihlah kepada Encik Zamrin kerana ucapan alu-aluan dan juga explanation about who I am tu tadi saya rasa sangat elaboration sangat tu, sebenarnya tak ada apa-apa sangat ya, kita just berada di sini untuk kongsi. Okey, untuk pengetahuan semua, saya adalah pensyarah di Universiti Teknologi Malaysia sebagai seorang pensyarah kejuruteraan Electrical Engineering, Mechanical Engineering lecturer. Sudah hampir 22 tahun mengajar di UTM, tetapi sebenarnya untuk tadi Encik Zamrin WhatsApp saya tanya sudah berapa lama berada dalam berpengalaman dalam ODL. Saya pun nak tergelak juga sebenarnya. For your information, for the past 20 years of my life, I've been teaching secara conventional. I'm doing conventional teaching. I am attending classes. I memang buat face to face classes all the time. Dan memang kurang penggunaan dalam bentuk online education, kecuali penggunaan e-learning lah yang memang di UTM kami ditekankanlah untuk penggunaan e-learning from the very beginning, of course. Okay, tapi what happened is, I think this is similar to most of us. Semua yang mengajar engineering, I think it's similar, science dan teknologi. We prefer to have our learning material, we prefer to have our method of teaching conventionally. Sebab apa? Sebab kita ni macam suka nak tengok student, we love to be among our student, we want our student to to respond to us immediately, and also engineering student they like to see things, right? They understand through their eyes kan. Kalau kita present kat dia tu, kita tunjuk dia suka hands on, they like to get their hands dirty, and also this is engineering student punya cara lah pengajaran kepada engineering. So the past 20 years I've been teaching, memang kita buat conventional way. Okay, only recently when COVID-19 came, this pandemic changed the landscape of learning. So yang mana nak tak nak kan, memang sebelum ni kita memang being encouraged lah to do ODL, to do online educations and all. Tapi macam suam-suam kuku most of the university pun accept Open U lah. Of course Open U has been doing this all the time. But other university, we are doing conventional method of teaching for all this while. But what happened is when COVID-19 came, kita semua macam within a split second we have to change. Everybody have to change immediately kan. Semua orang tak boleh nak jumpa student. We cannot even come to class. We cannot even go to the university kan. So when we stuck in our room, we still have to deliver the classes. I still remember when pejabat TNCA announced that UTM will have to teach starting from 1st of April 2020 through whatever medium possible, you online ke whatever ke, you kena buat juga, and you have to teach starting from 1st of April. So many people get very reluctant, especially of course lah yang kita yang suka conventional way of teaching lah. We feel so rasa reluctant to change and all. Tapi bila kita tengok keadaan tu, memang tak boleh nak ubah, memang tak boleh nak tukar. Whether you like it or not, we have to be resilient, we have to do it. Okay, so whether you like it or not, it's happening. COVID-19 kita memang tak invite dia datang saja dan tak nak pergi pula tu. So when it happened, we have to actually adjust with the environment, and then of course looking forward, online education has been people been preaching online education from daripada lama dah since dah lama. So memang it's about time lah. So ni sekarang ni dah macam lebih kepada suka tak suka, you have to do it, you have to jump. Okay, kalau tak jump into the swimming pool, you can never learn to swim kan. So you have to do it. Alright, so this is why I started to come up with develop of the self-instructional material. Sebab apa? When we talk about self-instructional material, later I'll talk about what are they, okay, apa maksud dia dan sebagainya. So especially for engineering student, we have to be very creative. Sebab engineering people, they want to see things, they want to even though you come up with the material, you cannot just simply send them the PowerPoint presentation and expect them to learn. No, you cannot send them textbook and expect them to read and do the exercise by themselves and everything. It doesn't happen that way. So you can become more creative lah on how to deliver your course. So what happened is that even though I'm not into ODL all this while, tapi sebab saya menyediakan material, I have to do online education sebabkan isu pandemik dan sebagainya. So kena buat jugalah SIM ni. Okay, so this is why I'm here today. So I've been asked to share some knowledge lah, some very, kalau nak cerita pasal yang pagi tadi, panel pagi tadi, Prof Zuraini segan sebab she's been doing this for 40 years. Okay, I'm only doing this during the last 2 years actually, very limited knowledge, but I'm excited to share it with you. Okay, so what is SIM? It's a self-instructional material. Okay, it play a major role in teaching and learning process. This has been done, this is mentioned by round 3, 1998, so very long time ago. Tapi of course during that time, of course the SIM is not as interactive, as comprehensive as what we have today. During that time, the technology is not there yet. Maybe kan nak buat nak buat YouTube channel pun tak berapa sangat during that time. Okay, so tapi it's there already. So what are the self-instructional material that has been there from the very beginning? Buku, textbook, okay, course module, right? And then structured module, ebook, and then we evolve to ebooks and all. Okay, so these are the material specifically designed to enable learners to study either partly of the course or the whole course by themselves. It must be self learn lah, dia macam boleh stand on its own. Okay, the self-instructional materials. So self-instructional material ni bukan satu sahaja struktur je, method dia ataupun elemen dia. It can be a lot of different things. It can be books, it can be online e-books, it can be video recorded, it can be macam-macam lah, voice recorded. You can also have screen recorded nowadays kan. So you can have all that as a part of the SIM, all the materials that we can use and share with our students. So basically, self-instruction material must be normally associated by many names such as home study. So if you conducting home study or self-study, of course you have to have material that is comprehensive enough so that you can conduct the education, you can learn by yourself. It is related to computer-based training. Okay, when you train yourself, you can do it, the student have to learn by themselves. And also it is actually related to what we call flexible learning. Flexible learning means at any time, at anywhere you want to learn, you can use this SIM material. And also it related to independent and individualized learning, and also some programs, instructions and so on and so forth. So banyaklah namanya, okay, tapi kesemua perkara-perkara ini associated to what we call self-instructional material. Okay, so ada yang buat a short material, kadang-kadang we don't even realize that it is actually a self-instructional material that we can actually, that we share with our students so that they can actually learn by themselves on certain topics related to their fields of study. Alright, so basically what why is it, how can it actually help our student? Kita dah tengok macam sekarang ni dengan keadaan yang semuanya berada di rumah dan sebagainya, so student terpaksa belajar. So ini kebanyakannya bermula dengan keadaan terpaksa ni yang jadi lebih menarik. Sebenarnya semula dia tak nak, reluctant. We do not want to have that. We want to have face-to-face education. Okay, we want to have face-to-face learning all the time. Tapi bila kita terpaksa dan kita terpaksa go through buat online, so what happened? Sebenarnya nampak ada banyak benefit pula kan, beside of course there are also pros and cons, but a lot of benefit that we can get from this online education. So for example, how can SIM help student? We can actually set realistic goal. Contohnya student tu ada freedom bila dia nak belajar, how they going to learn. Okay, it depend on their individual capacity. Some student, we know when we deliver our face-to-face classes, when we derive equations or when we explain process to student, ada student we explain one time, they already understand. Okay, very brilliant student lah, kita cerita sekali saja, they already understand. Tapi ada some student, they keep asking same questions, you know, they ask you to derive again and again. Jadi lecturer ni pun kadang-kadang kena be a very patient, we can get that kind of student. Sebab kenapa some of them is having their difficulty lah, dia punya ada capacity dia untuk belajar tu memang mungkin cara kita derive atau cara dia memahami tu berbeza dengan antara satu sama lain. This is when, if you have SIM, SIM can help, because why? Student tu they can learn according to their capacity. So kalau dia ada dia punya freedom nak belajar dekat mana bila. Some student, they are morning person, so when you teach them in the morning memang laju cepat je dia faham. Tapi bila dah petang-petang macam ni, dah mengantuk, dah makan semua dah penat, so normally when you teach, very difficult for them to understand. So ni adalah capacity individually. Okay, so tetapi kalau kita ada SIM, what happen is that student pilih masa yang sesuai untuk mereka belajar based on their capacity, based on their preference lah. So this is very good. And then number 2 is actually find what works for them. Okay, learning at their own pace. So ada orang topik yang 40 minit, they can go by themselves, they can go one go. Okay, sekali jalan 40 minit boleh dan terus faham. Some of them, they can actually pause the learning and then pergi take a break, pergi minum kopi dulu. Okay, some of them tengah belajar and then they have to stop and they have to do something else so that they can relax and learn. Okay, so this is actually helping them to reduce the frustration of learning. Kalau dalam kelas tu, normally lecturers, we have our syllabus, so we want to actually deliver the class according to the time. So kadang-kadang kita macam nak menyempatkan juga, we have to follow the strict syllabus and the strict time given kan. So kadang-kadang tu some student yang learning pace is a bit slow, memang is going to affect them. Alright, so this is actually how SIM can actually help them. Okay, so they can actually learning at their own pace. So lepas tu normally they can review the material the same day they learn, which is very difficult kalau kita buat secara face to face, it doesn't work, ataupun synchronous session pun kadang-kadang material tu recorded tu tak dapat immediately. Sekarang ni dah boleh kan, kita dah boleh dapat immediately and we can share with them. But with SIM, it's even better. They can even have it before the synchronous session. They can learn it before lebih awal. They can actually review the material as soon as they have it, and they can actually study by themselves all the time. Okay, so student boleh belajar in short and frequent session. This is also to help them for those who have a slower pace of learning. Okay, so they don't, kadang-kadang macam boring mendengar taklimat, mendengar webinar for 40 minutes, mendengar classes for 1 hour, for example, it's very boring. Okay, so what happened with this kind of method, right, SIM ni, bila kita develop this kind of material, what happens, student can learn in short and frequent session. I remember when I have to teach part-time student, master part-time student last time, when we have to be face-to-face, what happened is that we have to teach them for 6 long hours. Can you just imagine? Kesian kat student kan, dia dah lah part-time student, they are working during daytime, and also during the weekend they come for the part-time classes. So what happened, satu kelas tu 1 week tu 7 jam, 6 jam lah, maybe the lecture is about 5 hours, the 2 hours to activities and all kan. Tapi you just imagine, punya lama nak belajar within one day tu, a lot of things to digest within one day. Okay, so but this doesn't happen with SIM. If you give them self-instruction material like this, they can actually study in short and frequent session. So they can plan their schedule flexibly without stressing over it lah. Okay, and they can prepare and maintain their study environment. Okay, this is very important for student. Sebab ada student dia punya study environment dia tak berminat dan duduk dalam lock in the room, they want to go outside kan, nak belajar dekat bawah pokok for example, they can do it as long as they have the internet access. So sekarang ni kalau SIM, it is actually like a material or your learning center is in your palm. You, as long as you can bawa you punya handphone for example, you can bring your laptop or you can bring your iPad or tablet, you can learn everywhere and learning at your own pace, at your own time and learning everywhere. Okay, so this is very important how SIM can help our student. Okay, so characteristic of SIM, it must be self-explanatory, they're easily to understood and not exceeding further not needing further explanation. So the material that you provided them must be very clear lah. Kalau just a PowerPoint presentation is not really clear enough, then you have to have video. Contohnya untuk demonstrate better, so you need to put a video lah to demonstrate better. Kalau macam some topic tu PDF is not enough, then you have to produce a video recorded session. So sometimes just you send you are helping the student on examples, some examples, you're solving examples, you bagi satu PDF of example, which is better rather than giving one PDF, or you give a short video on you explaining on how to solve the problem, for example. So this is much better. So the material must be self-explanatory. Okay, it must be self-contained. It must be complete lah. So the whole SIM, the whole material must be having all what needed. So kena ada dia punya explanation, kena ada objektifnya, kena ada structure-nya. I'm not going to talk so much about the structure because this morning the session have Prof. Zuraini have been given a marvelous description of all the structure on how to write SIM and also I'm not going to repeat that. So this is very important. And next one is self-directed. So the freedom for learner to control themselves. So tak boleh bagi SIM yang macam lepas after sometimes macam contohnya YouTube, you bagi YouTube and suddenly YouTube tu is not belonging to you, it belong to somebody else. After sometimes YouTube tu hilang, then cannot lah sebab dia akan the student the moment they want to go and revisit the material tu dah tak ada. Maybe the owner of the YouTube have deleted it. So you have to come up with your own material lah in that case, right? So learners have to freedom to control themselves when they want to learn it, right? And it must be motivating juga. It cannot be a very boring things. Okay, so the student the material is very dull. Okay, contohnya description dia tak menarik. Okay, ataupun you just give PowerPoint presentation tu bulat-bulat you send to WhatsApp to student. That is not SIM. Okay, that is actually just you send PowerPoint to the student. The SIM must be something that is actually comprehensive lah. There must be something, even though it can be part of SIM can be PowerPoint presentation, but it must be very exciting and actually very motivating for the students. So because they learn by themselves, kita tak ada depan dia. Okay, dia pun belajar bila dia rasa dia seronok nak belajar. So dia mesti ada motivation. Kalau tidak, maybe dia tak belajar pun, dia tak tengok pun benda tu. Okay, and then you must come up with something to motivate them to study as well. For example, you have some quizzes that you attach with it. Okay, you give some deadline. For example, you tak boleh bagi je kat student and then expect that they will go through it, okay, without any memanglah self-directed, tapi lepas tu dia tak tengok langsung. How can we tell, right? So kena ada SIM yang bagus, kena ada macam data analytics sikit, so you know that the information have been viewed by your student. Kalau contohnya dalam LMS, kejap lagi saya tunjuk dalam LMS, if the student have actually viewed your video or not, we can tell if the student have actually go through the material that you give them. This is very good. Okay, tapi untuk make them go and visit the material, it must be self-motivating lah. The material is self too. Okay, and also self-evaluating, right? So the opportunity for the student to actually review their work at any time. Okay, when they learn the material, they are able to review it and they're able to test themselves if they actually learn something from it or not. Okay, so this is a evolution of learning technology. I'm not going to go through very detailed, cuma saya seronok nak cerita. So when I was in the secondary school, we are still learning using this green board atau blackboard. They call it blackboard dengan chalk kan, tapi sebenarnya not so black, it is actually green board. Okay, so we are actually learning to using this. Okay, I think nowadays you all tak pakai dah kan, tapi during my primary school, we are still learning using this. And during my degree, we still do this, we still sit down in this mass lecture. I still remember there are about 200, 300 of us in a huge lecture hall where one lecturer is actually in front of us actually teaching static. You just imagine static dia ajar seorang-seorang kat depan. Kita tengok dia daripada atas tu macam very small je professor ni. Okay, I still remember I was in Cardiff at that time. And when he teach, kita pun kadang-kadang tak dengar pun apa dia ajar dekat depan sebab dia dah kecil seorang kat depan tu kan. So that is what happened before. So what we have to do, we have to go back and study ourselves, right? So kita kena come up with our notes and all, and we have to study ourselves. Nowadays classes are smaller. In a smaller is much better. Okay, it's in a small group. Okay, and then we have and then if you remember, we have this OHP projector ke kalau tak silap namanya kan. Masa kita mula-mula mengajar dulu, when I started teaching in UTM back in 1999, a long time ago, we are using OHP. Tapi OHP is much better, compared to just writing on the whiteboard. Writing on the whiteboard, besok you datang kelas, you nak kena repeat the same topic, contohnya you kena write all over again. Kalau OHP, you boleh simpan sikit material tu kan. So we are using all this technology before, but now it's much better. We are using LCD projector lah, at least paling kurang kalau face-to-face classes, and an interactive smart classroom, for example, using interactive technology, advanced technology like this, where students can also do not write down on a piece of paper anymore. They go through the material online. Okay, before you attended classes, you already give them some material beforehand so that they can have flip learning. They can learn first so that when you come to the class, you are ready to discuss rather than teaching the derivation, teaching the theoretical part of it. So all those derivation, theoretical part, you dah come up with SIM, for example. You dah put it in your e-learning, put it in your LMS, whatever you're using, so that student can learn at their own time before they come to your class. So ni pun berlaku and then after that, during the class you can have active discussion. So you can actually review case study, for example, which is better. It's a better learning method rather than during the class tu lah kita nak buat derivation and all. Okay, unless of course student ask you about it lah, of course then you can explain. Tapi it's better to have them learn by themselves with material that you have provided them. Okay, and even better nowadays, you don't even, not even better, tapi we have to kan, so terpaksa, and it's much actually is better for other people who doesn't have the luxury of coming to class. Ada orang dia belajar sambil bekerja, they don't even have the time to come for classes, face-to-face classes, so they can also learn wherever they are. So this is democratizations of learning, where people can learn at any time, anywhere, at their own pace and also online education has come to us nowadays. So what happened is that we don't even get to see our student. For the past 2 years, I think ramai kita dah tak jumpa student kita secara face to face anymore. We are all in our room talking to our computer kan, in front of this Zoom, Webex and whatnot. So this is the evolution of learning technology. I'm not going to describe in great detail, but this is what happened. I think you all aware about this and why adakah bagus, adakah what are the pros and cons. Of course, everything happen, mesti ada pros, mesti ada cons dia. Okay, but we actually try to look in the positive way and try to tap the strength from this. So kalau kita cerita pasal ODL, learning ecosystem, Okay, so what happens is that it must consist of at least these 5 elements. Mesti ada. For example, the first one is actually you must have the SIM itself. What is the material that you have actually designed and developed? What is it? Is it recorded video? Is it writing? Okay, Prof. Zuraini in the morning have described about a lot of a very thorough description on how to write a very good SIM material. So today I'm going to talk about video recorded rather than writing. So and we have a lot of other things. For example, online tools that you use for your SIM. Okay, other resources, online resources that you use. These are your SIM. Books are also still considered as SIM. Okay, so however, the book must be very self-instructed lah. Mesti ada dia punya elemen-elemen yang comprise of all elemen yang diperlukan oleh SIM. Okay. Then when you already have this SIM, what do you do when you have developed this? Apa you buat dengan all your recorded session, all your lecture notes and or what you must put somewhere where student can actually visit and do the learning, okay, structurally, okay, berstruktur lah learning dia. Contohnya kalau kita menggunakan platform yang kita panggil LMS, Learning Management System, where it is actually a platform where you make all the course material accessible by your student, and also at the same time in the LMS kita boleh buat struktur dia, maknanya minggu pertama buat belajar bahagian apa, minggu kedua at least they have the flow of how the course should be conducted, how the course should be learned. Sebab kadang-kadang topik if you don't go topic by topic, you might not understand kan, tiba-tiba je belajar topik 1 and then jump to topik 5, you might not understand what is in between, right? So kalau kita ada LMS, kita boleh susunkan SIM tu supaya dia lebih teratur, and also you have to structure it so that ada comprise of all a lot of other things, not just video recorded all the time kan. We have to plan properly, we have to put all the quizzes, for example, you have to put all the question forum discussion for student, kena letak case study so that they can do their they can learn buat some discussion about it. Okay, you can put some test also there. Okay, so dekat dalam LMS ni lah semua benda tu kita make it available. And also not all the time video recorded ni is enough. Of course, you have to have some other element, synchronous sessions as well. For engineering student, very important. If you give them all video, you don't even know if their understanding level on what you are teaching. Okay, so kena ada juga. You have to have synchronous sessions where you can have online discussion. That is why I mentioned what I mentioned earlier. SIM tu is actually have to be learned by them earlier, so you need to plan properly lah which one that you want to create as a recorded, which one you want to have as a online discussion. So normally for engineering, for the online discussion, we focus on, for example, those require discussion lah, those like require us to study the design, for example, case study, for example, rather than deriving, rather than learning the basic of the topics. Okay, so this is what we need for synchronous session. Also for lab work, so sometimes lab work, I will show later on, we can also do lab work by SIM, but also sometimes lab work you need to it can be done secara synchronous lah. Okay, so how to do it, right? And then tutorial, exam questions, past year questions, they want to learn how to solve it. Okay, you can do that through recorded session as well, but if you have a synchronous session, then you can quickly find out if they understand you or not. They can quickly ask you questions. Okay, so you need to have some synchronous session juga. Okay, not enough. I think it's not enough if it's just all online session. Okay, and lastly is assessment. As I mentioned, without assessment, you do not know if your student is actually understand or not what you are teaching. You don't know if your student, what are the level that they have reached, okay, by undergoing all your SIMs that you have provided them. You need to test them also to check, and they also can do their test as well, okay, to assess themselves. Okay, so this is very important. Alright, so development of SIM material, okay, so it must consist of definitions of what to be learned. You must tell them the objective, apa kita nak buat. So normally kalau kita ada a 3 credit course for example kan, we have our course informations, so we know from that 3 credit courses divided by topics. Let's say you have 10 topics to be delivered in that 3 credit courses. Okay, so you need to actually plan properly. What are the objective to be learned, yang part mana explanations yang kita boleh buat secara recorded, okay, yang kita boleh buat secara self-instructional material, and yang mana, bahagian mana yang kita perlu buat synchronous session. Tak boleh kalau SIM saja not enough. Okay, so how to know? Kita kena buat berkali-kali. Okay, after kita dah buat and then we check on our student performance, then we can tell if they are okay with recorded session sahaja atau they need to have a synchronous session. Okay, so this one is actually a continuous process. You learn by doing it. Okay, and then you need to give examples. So SIM itself must have examples, must have a method of solving problems and things like that. So you need to have it in your SIM's material. Then after you have done this SIM, it has to be put somewhere. I know that some of us, we just send our session, kita masukkan recorded session kita kat YouTube, lepas tu YouTube tu kita hantar je secara through WhatsApp contohnya, through Telegram contohnya, boleh. Ada masa is okay kan, sebab kita nak cepat. Sometimes student tanya how to solve this problem and then you quickly it so happen you have your iPad in front of you, you pun terus sketch the solutions and you record it and you send to the WhatsApp group, right? It's okay, but lepas tu nanti dia nak cari that material, dia kena scan through the WhatsApp. After some time dah ada 1000 WhatsApp, dah hilang dah kita punya nota tadi. So it's good to put it somewhere where people can visit it at any time, and it is actually according to the proper structure lah. So kalau kita masukkan dalam LMS, okay, upload the learning material, and then kita boleh set learning tasks in the LMS. For example, every 2-3 topics, then you have some tasks for the student to do, so that if they don't test themselves, maybe they don't learn properly, they have to go and revisit the first 2-3 material before they can really go and proceed with the next material. Okay, we can set quizzes, tests and assignments, answer learners punya question by going through, contohnya kita boleh buat forum, kita boleh adakan Jamboard for them, so that if we throw questions, they answer and then we can reply to them also in the Jamboard. Okay, at any time we can do that. Okay, so we can LMS also allow learners to do self-assessment and all. Okay, so this is the how we develop the process of developing this and where to put them later on. So this is the overall cycle of development. So you need to plan your course properly. You need to plan the structure, how you're going to deliver the course properly. As I mentioned just now, of course kita punya CI, so course information, you have to follow it, no matter if you're doing it face-to-face ke, you doing it online ke, either you do it synchronous or asynchronous, you still have to follow your course structure. Semua topik yang kita kata, kita promise the student to teach them, we need to deliver them, and also the objective must be met. Okay, so what are the course objective? Okay, apa yang objektif yang kita dah letak dalam our CI, we must make sure that the student will met those things. Okay, so you need to plan them properly. Okay, kalau tak plan them properly, the structure, then of course you will miss out lah some of important things. And from planning, you will then decide which material can be done through offline, recorded, which material need to be done using synchronous sessions. Okay, so which material can just being delivered by giving them PDF, and which material that you need to actually provide them video recorded. So the media choice is very important. Some of them, even you give the video recorded, they will not understand, but you put them in terms of forum, in terms of discussion, then they will understand. So you need to decide what kind of media that you want to choose. Okay, and then you develop it. Of course, this process, daripada planning, daripada media choice, daripada development ni very taking a lot of our time. Okay, it takes a lot of our time, it takes a lot of effort. Sometimes you want to come out with a short 20 minutes video, it takes you one whole day. Can you trust me on that? Because especially people like me, people baru belajar nak pakai instrument. So it's actually taking a lot of our times. Okay, tapi it worth it. Why? Because that material your student can go through them frequently. They can revisit and review it berulang-ulang kali. So it's actually helping them to learn more lah. Okay, but they have to have the time lah to go through them. Alright, so then you implement your material tu, you implement your SIM tu, masukkan dalam LMS, and then ask the student to actually assess themselves after they have gone through maybe a few material. Then we have some quizzes to check their knowledge, to check their understanding, and if they are okay, then means your material is good lah. If it is not okay, then something need to be done, something need to be improved. So maybe your material ada element-element yang kita tak emphasize better, so you need to actually improve your element, your material. So not once you have developed SIM, it doesn't mean that after you have developed SIM, then nanti for the next 5 years I will use these SIMs forever. Tak ada improvement. No, cannot, especially in engineering. Why? Because the technology advancement is very cepat, very rapid. Okay, so sometimes what you tell them today, in a few months time, it's already obsolete. It's already something else has come in, something new that has comes in. So you need to your material every now and then. So memang kerja ni continuous lah. Tapi we know that the benefit that our student will get is even better as compared to just a normal face-to-face classes. Okay, normal one-to-one session. And of course, one-to-one session is even tiring. Kadang-kadang kita dah explain kat dia sekali kan, dia tak faham 2-3 kali tanya kan, benda yang sama. And then kalau tanya in a group is still okay, tapi tiba-tiba datang knock on our door, tanya seorang, datang tanya, doktor tolong explain macam mana nak derive ni, kita pun explain derivation, tiba-tiba petang kan datang lagi 5 orang tanya benda yang sama, lepas tu lusa datang lagi orang yang sama. So this is actually a bit tiring. Tapi kalau you dah buat recorded session tu, dia dah tengok, and then kalau dia tak faham, dia boleh go through the material repeatedly, so until they understand. So this, walaupun proses nak buat tu susah, bukanlah susah, tapi time consuming, but it can be actually benefited to you as in the long run lah. Okay, so this is, I mentioned about LMS just now. So what is LMS? These are a platform where it is designed to help instructor manage the educational course work online. Ada banyak, there's a lot of LMS. Okay, ada yang very expensive, university have to pay for the LMS. Ada yang cheap, ada yang free. Okay, so we have to decide lah which one we want to use. Okay, so they provide educator with a single platform. So satu platform saja, making the course material accessible online and including lesson content, assignment, and all this assessment and all. Okay, so LMS is very important, right? So, okay. All right. Let me check on the time. Okay, I have time now. Let me talk about this. This is the kind of LMS that we have. Okay, we have some of them, as I mentioned, we have to pay. Institution, HEP have high education have to pay for them. Okay, Canvas contohnya, Brightspace, Moodle, okay, Blackboard is very expensive, not very expensive, but you have to pay some fees, of course. Okay, but there are also something that free, Google Classroom contohnya, so you can, it depends on how you want to use it. Okay, and most of our most of university, they have their own. For example, they are using UTM is using Moodle and develop its own e-learning, and UTM Space, for example, they are using Blackboard and develop its own platform. Okay, for LMS dia. Putra, UPM, for example, having Putra Learning Hub. Okay, and USM dia ada dia punya online e-learning juga. UITM is having EU Future. Okay, for example, this is where they put all their SIM. Okay, so they put all their SIMs, all the materials that student can actually visit all the time and use it to study. Okay, to learn all that topics. All right. So this is LMS. Okay, I want to show you some example of very simple. Macam mana nak buat video recorded. I'm sure many of you have a lot of information about this. Senang ni semua orang dah buat. Tapi mungkin ada yang boleh belajar lagi kalau kita pakai simple video recorded. So I will show you later on an example on how to do it. Okay, so yang simple sangat kita boleh pakai paling simple video recorded. Okay, so we can use screenshot, okay, record it, okay, yang ni record it if I'm not mistaken the name, and then kita boleh pakai Loom, okay, so there's a lot of software available yang kita boleh pakai simple sangat. So as the moment you open, you can quickly record your screen and you project your PowerPoint, you can record the screen and you can record your voice along with it. Okay, so then you can create it as your element. This is as simple as that. Ataupun contohnya you nak record your iPad, your tablet because you want to show the student how to solve a certain example. Okay, so you can use this simple recording. Okay, but of course you cannot have all in this kind of form because student ni kadang-kadang dia boring juga tengok PowerPoint saja kan. Dengar suara pun okay tapi tengok PowerPoint je kan. Kadang-kadang macam not so interactive lah. Okay, so we can also do something using broadcasting software. So nanti saya akan tunjuk dua-dua lah. Kita guna yang simple one dan kita guna yang broadcasting software as well. Okay, I will show you later on. Right, so what are the hardware requirement kalau kita nak pakai? Nowadays kalau kita ada of course every one of us, we are using our computer. Either you can have your computer or laptop, it doesn't matter, it's okay. But for engineering people, it's good if you can have your writing pad. Okay, writing pad tu saya letaklah kat sini bukan nak promote, okay, tapi writing pad yang paling murah yang I can find is Wacom, it's very cheap, $100 lebih saja. So we can invest and buy. I'm not promoting Wacom, I'm not with them, just I'm telling you what kind of writing pad that you can actually use. Wacom ni dia ada dua, satu yang kosong plain macam ni, just when you write, you connect this pad with your computer, so you can project your PowerPoint dekat computer tu, boleh run the PowerPoint and that writing pad can actually do some writing on the PowerPoint. Ataupun you can put your notepad dekat computer and then you're using your writing pad ni untuk buat derivation for example. So this virtually perkara-perkara macam ni yang student boleh nampak visible macam ni, it's very interesting for them lah, especially engineering people lah, because they want to see with their eyes kan. Baca is going to be very boring for them, so they have to see how it works. Okay, when you talk about derivation, you bagi step by step. It's good if you can write down for themselves so that they can actually have a look at it. Ada juga yang kat sini pakai XP Pen for example. Ada juga Wacom yang dia dah memang ada digital display, so you can write and at the same time you can actually write macam kita buat kat tablet lah. And then of course there are iPads, tablet lain dan sebagainya. Ada yang mahal, ada yang murah. It's up to us how much you want to invest. But of course you need all this. These are our equipment lah to go and to produce a very good SIM. Okay, so perlu ke tak perlu? Memang perlu. Okay, as an educator, we need to invest some money on buying all this. Alright. And what are the software requirement? Ada software yang berbayar, contoh StreamYard is very beautiful. Okay, StreamYard, you can use StreamYard, you have to pay, I think it's $20 per month if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so you use StreamYard, is very beautifully done for you. Tapi kalau you are more nak jimat, you can use OBS. OBS is actually free, and then you can create beautiful layout juga untuk your recorded session tu. Okay, ada Restream, I never use this one. Okay, but these are some example of software that we can use to record and also to stream. Okay, like what we are doing today, right? I'm doing this. We are doing this webinar. At the same time, MQA is actually streaming it on YouTube so that people can actually watch it on YouTube, right? So live stream. So this software can be used also for the live stream. So if you want to do it, if you want to have it just for recording also, you can do it. Why I choose to use this kind of software? Because when you record it, you can actually have it a few material, not just your face and your slide. You can add videos, you can add musics later on. You can also add some programming. For example, you are teaching programming, right? You are teaching MATLAB, you're teaching SolidWorks, for example, to students. so you can the view of your program also on the screen. So this is why it's good to have this kind of software. Right, and later on, after you have done the software, you have a record your session in the software, you can then do some video editing. Tak payahlah nak edit sampai jadi perfect macam nak jual dekat orang tu. No, we can edit it so that at least sometimes when you record the session, suddenly your children comes into room and disturb you, okay, ataupun tiba-tiba je JNT sending your parcel and then jerit in front of you, right? Dengar kan sampai sini kan. So at least when you do the recording, you tak perlu nak pause and delete all the time. So you can just record the session, then you edit it. So those yang terkeluar suara anak jerit ke, suara suami keluar bilik air ke, suara jiran sebelah tengah drill pintu ke, whatever they are doing kan, kita boleh record yang recorded we can remove it lah. Okay, ataupun kadang-kadang kita tengah cakap salah cakap ke kan, ataupun tertinggal ke, then when we go through the video, we can then remove that part. And also we can add musics later on when we do the video editing. I will show you later on through the I have another 1 hour. I will show you simple lah how to use OBS and iMovie, okay, for recording and also for simple editing. Siapa yang dah pandai tu, I'm so sorry lah saya nak tunjuk juga, tapi yang mana belum pandai tu kita boleh sama-sama belajar sama-sama. Saya pun baru belajar menggunakan OBS ni. This is not something that is actually I learn dah lama, baru sangat. And in fact, for your informations, when I start learning OBS is just because I saw some of my friends, one of my friends actually, she's conducting online session and she have beautiful view. Okay, dia macam dia boleh slip through from slide kepada video, daripada video kepada balik. Okay, so I asked her how you do it, and she through SMS through WhatsApp, she teach me through WhatsApp how to use OBS. So that is how easy you can learn OBS. Dia just like guna WhatsApp saja, and then I download it. Okay, so then I learn by using what she instructed me, and then I learn by myself lah. And then of course dekat YouTube pun ada banyak video-video yang macam you can learn on how to actually improve your view to later on. Okay, so let me just go through quickly how to use OBS. Kalau yang nak belajar benda lain, kita kena bincang sesi lain lah. For this session, I will teach using OBS, and also I will show you how to edit using iMovie. Okay, so kat OBS ni dia punya front screen, right? So what happen is that there's a scene there. You can actually put several scenes. Maybe one scene you have your video only, your face only, you want to explain the student, and then you want it with a slide, your PowerPoint presentation, for example. And then the next scene, you have your video with notepad where you want to do derivations, when you want to do your descriptions or solving problems, for example. And maybe another slide, you have your video with programming software, for example. So you can actually, when you do the recording, you can slide between this scene. You can go from one scene to another scene according to the material that you want to explain. Contohnya kalau dia teori saja, you want to go video with slide only. Tapi kalau macam ada derivation, you want to have your video with your notepad. Ataupun kalau macam derivation tu kena ada derivation, at the same time nak juga refer to the slide, and then you can have both, right? And also you can have your programming. For example, kalau you nak explain on how lab work to be done, how can experimental work can be done, you can also record the experimental work, and then you can actually put it here. When you explain, it can actually display the recording of experimental work. Okay, kalau kita nak buat secara online macam ni lah. Okay, so this is changes of scene, and then ada button kat sini to add and to remove scenes, and also to move up and down. Okay, so this is how you use. I will show you later on macam mana nak buat hands on dia. Okay, and then there's sources that we can add. Okay, what are the sources that we can, macam-macam benda. It's very beautiful, this OBS. You can put a lot of things. Okay, we can put our camera or video sources. For example, I can even have my Zoom punya window ni, I put there. Boleh juga, cantik kan kalau gambar Zoom ni, kita sebenarnya jadi cantik sikit sebab dia ada macam filter. Okay, kalau kamera kita dia macam buruk sikit kan, tak perlu nak make up lawa-lawa kalau pakai Zoom. Right, so and then we have we can add microphone, we can add slide, program window, writing notes, semua menggunakan source. I will show you later on. Okay, we can also put some text there and pictures, but I actually love to put text when I do my editing later on rather than when I record the session. Okay, tapi I will show you later on. Okay, so that is sources. And then the next one is audio mixer. Ini is you can control your voice, your volume level. You can control in a macam memang betul-betul nak buat movie lah. You can really control them. But I don't dare to go through the setting for too much because I know nothing about it, right? So I normally just control the level, the volume level. And we can also learn how to filter noise. So contohnya kita tengah bercakap, a lot of noises hiss sana sini kan, and then we can actually filter it, right? So that is the audio mixer. And then the scene transition, so between one scene to another, ada kita nak dia macam fade atau swipe atau slide, very straightforward that one. Okay, and then lastly the control panel. So control panel ni very important. Dekat sini lah yang kita nak control masa kita buat recording tu. Either you want to stop and start recording, either you want to stop and start streaming, you nak start virtual camera pun boleh pakai OBS, okay, and then dia ada studio mode and then also setting. Okay, setting ni banyaklah benda nak setkan video kita punya quality dan sebagainya. Okay, and also when you want to quit, you just click the exit there. Okay, so I will show you later on how to use this OBS. And then after you have come up with your OBS, we can then download the video. After you have developed your video using your OBS just now, you can then download you can edit the video using iMovie. We can have many other software, of course. Okay, ada Filmora, ada CapCut. Kalau nak cepat kan, ada banyak software, tapi I'm going to show how to use iMovie. Okay, so yang ini yang dekat laptop, yang dekat komputer lah. Contohnya this is dia punya display. Okay, so what we have in iMovie, yang kat atas tu adalah control panel dia. So kat situ ada your media, you want to add video, you want to add your pictures, you want to add anything there, you can add there kat media tu. And then dekat audio, you can put music, you can put your own voice recorded. Contohnya kalau masa record video tadi dekat OBS, you record video, some of your notes tu salah. So we can delete that part yang salah tu, kita boleh masukkan audio baru. Okay, so this is how good it is lah using iMovie ni. And then the background, kalau tak cantik kita nak masukkan background baru, boleh. Okay, and then kita ada transition juga. So contoh tadi dekat video tu kita buat dia jalan je, tak ada apa-apa transition, tak menarik kan. Tapi kalau kita pakai iMovie ni, kita boleh masukkan transition in between so that it become very nice and get movie dia. Okay, so dekat project media ni boleh masuk semula, video, pictures, sound, music and whatnot. Lepas tu dekat bawah ni lah kita punya editing in progress. So this is where you can split between section. You masukkan video tu dia panjang kan, katalah panjang dia 5 minit, 10 minit contohnya. And then some part you want to remove, you can split and then you can delete the part. And then some of the part maybe your voice is too loud, you can reduce the voice. Some of the part you nak letakkan dia punya you nak memang buang completely, boleh, ataupun you nak shorten a bit, boleh, you can do that. And also some of them you want to have speed up dekat certain few seconds tu, speed it up, boleh, can. Okay, maybe masa recording tu kita tengah menunggu something ke, nak tunggu YouTube download for us ke, contohnya kita boleh buang that scene. Okay, tak payah nak on off masa kita buat recording, kita boleh buat editing. Alright, so this is an example on how we can do it. I will show you later on a simple one lah. Okay, this is the display of the current outcome. So currently yang kita baru edit ni, kita boleh play dan tengok apa outcome dia. And dekat sini juga kita boleh add our voice recorded session lah. Kalau kita rasa nak keluarkan voice audio yang lama tu, kita masukkan audio yang baru, we can do it here. Okay, so this is iMovie, right? Right, then after you have edited your movie, so what happened, you want to actually upload it in your LMS. So this is an example of Blackboard. UTM, we have both. We are using Blackboard and also we are using e-learning. So yang Blackboard is owned by UTM Space, okay, for our part-time student. All right, so what happened is that inside here you can have your course content. So dekat sini lah kita masukkan kita punya SIM. Okay, so kita punya course structure, kita punya schedule, kita punya all these link to our videos and whatnot. Okay, so kat sini juga kita ada banyak information sebab detail on the student, kita punya attendance. Okay, at the same time Blackboard is very nice because dia ada online session as well. So let's say you want to have synchronous session, you don't have to open Webex anymore, you don't have to open Zoom anymore. You can just put announcement to your students saying that okay, tomorrow at 9 p.m. we're going to have online session. So everybody will receive the message. Okay, everybody will get the email and will receive the message, and then dekat besok pukul 9 pagi you can click here and you can join the session and everybody will be there joining your session without having to come out with Webex punya link apa ke, tak perlu. Okay, so this is one thing good about Blackboard lah, dia ada what they call Blackboard Collaborate, and then your material have to be here lah, you put all your LMS here. So semua material yang kita dah develop tadi, either is video, either is a recorded screen, either is voice sahaja ataupun dia adalah PDF sahaja, you can put it here, ataupun PowerPoint sahaja, you can put it here, and you put it according to the structure. Of course, you can change this name based on weeks. For example, you're expecting student to have ataupun phase, for example, part 1, part 2, for example. So you expect the student will, for example, go through part 1 first and then go through part 2, ataupun you can put it in terms of module based. Okay, which module? Of course, kalau kita letak module 1, of course we want our student to go through module 1 first rather than jump straight to module 5. Okay, so we can actually structure it so that student can learn structure by structure. So this is why LMS is important, to keep all your SIM in a structural form. Kalau kita just send our SIM to WhatsApp, kita hantar kita punya material to dekat email and all, it's everywhere. It's compiled inside this kind of system. So it's why it's good to have this kind of system. Okay. Dan dekat sini juga kita boleh buat, kita boleh questions bank, kita boleh create discussions, kita boleh buat forum and a lot of things. One thing good about Blackboard, dia ada analytic. So data analytic is very important. Just now in the morning, Prof. Zoraini also explaining about data analytic, because you want to know how your student perform, how your student is actually, do they actually go through this material or not? Okay, kadang-kadang kita dah letakkan ni week 1, we even give date between this time to this time, you have to cover this. Okay, at the end of the day, are they going through them or not? Okay, then we can check. So setiap material yang kita letak di sini, kita boleh tahu when is the last time the student access this material. We can even tell how often they access this material, berapa kali dia revisit and look at this material. This is one thing good about Blackboard lah, kita boleh masukkan and then at every course content ni kita boleh letak assignment, kita boleh buat case study and all. If I have time later on, I will show you one example of the course that I have actually done through Blackboard. Okay, and this one, walaupun kita nak buat ni, it takes time, tapi one thing good is when you have it, while you already have it there, it can be used many times by them. They can visit it at any time, they can learn at any moment. Walaupun kadang-kadang ada masa, we give them duration of time. Contohnya within 1 month you have to cover this, for example. Tapi 1 month tu dia boleh tengok malam, dia boleh tengok siang, dia boleh tengok petang, dia boleh tengok weekend. So it's up to them when they want to learn at their own pace and at their own flexibility and their their own comfortable time lah. They decide by themselves. This is one thing important characteristic of SIM. Okay, so tak boleh macam very fixed, mesti pukul 9 pagi kena tengok, tak boleh. SIM dia kena macam ada flexibility kat situ. Okay, so this is Blackboard. We also have learning our Moodle. Okay, our e-learning is actually in Moodle. So I also put some here, some of the material. Dia yang ini yang lepas-lepas. So saya tak boleh tunjuk yang later. So I cannot. I have difficulty to open this as well. So I'll just show the screenshot lah. Okay, so I can even put my video recorded where I do my class with MATLAB programming, for example, and I can also put my course outline here in PDF form, and also I can put all my video recorded session here. Okay, so the video recorded session, either it's a SIM video recorded session that you do it offline, that you do it during the synchronous session, asynchronous session, Also, you can put material. For example, you are doing your synchronous session. You have your online session with your student. You can record the Webex session, for example, and you can then edit the Webex session tu. Kan kita kena edit sikit lah. Sebab kadang-kadang bila kita cerita synchronous session ni kan kita cakap panjang kan, 1 hour to hour kita bercakap kan. So within that 1 hour to hour mungkin ada in between tu berhenti minum ke, ada in between tu joking ke with student, you know, something that is not related to the course. For example, suddenly tengah cerita-cerita tercerita pasal something else, you know, you want to delete that, you can. You use editing like iMovie just now to remove the part where you feel that it is not important and not related to the course. Okay, so once you have edited it, then you can put it here as well, so that your student can then walaupun synchronous session, the student can revisit it and then can have it viewed again and again. Okay, so this is the learning center that I have explained here. All right, so before I'm going to go and show the session nak buat secara praktikal using OBS, iMovie and Blackboard LMS. So ada apa-apa soalan tak before we go to that? Saya baca dulu soalan sementara waktu. Ataupun moderator ada soalan?
Prof, kita ada soalan dekat PJ Phone. Mungkin kita boleh share dulu kot soalan-soalan dalam PJ Phone. Sekretariat. Sekejap ya, Prof.
Mungkin boleh kita buat soalan dulu, lepas tu nanti saya baru tunjukkan yang practical way of doing this. Boleh?
Boleh Prof. So nanti saya sekretariat upload saya share screen untuk yang PJ Pro. So kita sebentar ya.
Bunyi tu. Ada bunyi.
Okey. Ini soalan ni, Prof.
Okey.
Sekejap.
Dah nampak Prof? Jelas
Okay, jelas. The prepared content in similar approach used by Udemy, Coursera and Udacity, just to name a few. Thank you, Prof. Actually, correct, betul. Itulah yang mereka buat. Dia it's like Coursera ni dia ada banyak content yang dia deliver online. These are SIMs actually. All of them are self-instructed material, of course. Okay, and then dia ada a few things like if you talk about Coursera ni, you can actually go through the material, and then if you can go through the material and later on you can get your degree ataupun you can get your credit, then dia macam jadi macam satu compilations of a MOOC contohnya. Okay, so yes, SIM materials are similar approach used by these people. So that is why nowadays if you talk about current learning style, so if you do not have your SIM, you will be teaching conventionally all the time, whereas other people they already providing material online, like if we are here in Malaysia, we want to register, we want to learn about some new knowledge, we can just register in this kind of Coursera and all. They have all the materials. So kalau kita tak buat SIM, kita memang kalah lah dengan all these people. They already have this material online. So we have to also produce our own SIM for our student. Otherwise, kita kan ketinggalan lah kalau kita keep want to do it on a conventional way. Even though teaching engineering, I know some of the teachers, some of the lecturers, they insist that mesti tunjuk juga derivation tu face to face, mesti guna whiteboard juga nak derive. Betul, tapi kan sebenarnya banyak benda-benda material macam tu dah ada online. So kadang-kadang kita tak nak, sometimes we attend our class, we teach, then students sebenarnya dah tahu pun apa kita ajar tu, dia dah pergi tengok dekat Udemy, dia dah pergi tengok dekat Coursera, they even learn from YouTube. Okay, so sekarang kan dah ada University of YouTube kan. So they already have all the material, they have gone through the material. So rather than they learn from somebody else, might as well they learn from our material. So yes, it's correct, it's the same, similar. I hope that's answering the questions. Any other questions?
Okay, thanks, Prof. Kita move to the next questions. So, berapa learning outcome sesuai untuk satu topik?
Okay, untuk kita mengajar, contoh dia different degree level dengan master level is different. So you have to follow your course information. So macam kita dah come up with our course informations, right? So we have to follow that course information, of course, otherwise MQA will come and audit us later on. So we have to follow that properly. Learning outcome also kena ikut dengan kita punya course information. So kalau dekat course information tu ada 5 learning outcome and then ada beberapa topik, then you have to follow lah those topic. Walaupun it is actually, tapi you have to decide which material yang sesuai untuk dijadikan SIM, which material yang memang tak sesuai, memang you have to do it face to face, memang you have to do synchronously. For example, ada yang related to generic skill, you are evaluating generic skill. So memang kalau secara SIM ni you tak tahu kan student tu punya, you cannot evaluate the student punya generic skill, and then you need to do it face to face, then you have to do it face to face. So berapa learning outcome tu it depend on your CI juga, it go back to your CI untuk satu topik. Tapi kalau for guideline in terms of video recorded, don't do too long, don't do it for too long sebab tu kadang-kadang tak berapa menarik kalau kita punya synchronous session tu. Kita ada kelas, contohnya memang pukul 9 sampai 11 ada kelas, and then kita pun buat webex session dengan student kita, and then we record the webex session, and then later on that webex session 2 hours tu you pergi hantar kat student. Memang tak sesuai that 2 hours. Okay, so biasanya yang recorded session ni paling bagus pun 10-15 minit sahaja satu topik, that is enough. Okay, then kalau kita ada beberapa topik untuk kita buat, then you have beberapa recorded session lah, bukan satu session tu memang kena buat sampai 40 minit macam tu. I did that, last time I memang satu topik sampai 40 minit, then I learn from my student punya feedbacks, I should shorten it. Okay, so the learning outcome depend on your CI and depend on what you have actually declare in your CI, how many topics for that learning outcome. Katalah 5 learning outcome memang you dah declare ada 14 atau 10 topics, then you have to follow that. Cuma setiap LMS, setiap SIM tu kena jangan terlalu lama. Okay, so kalau satu SIM tu tak boleh nak cover satu topik, you kena buat 2-3. Okay, satu mungkin recorded, satu lagi PowerPoint, satu PowerPoint PDF interaktif, contohnya very interesting written PDF. Okay, and then satu lagi maybe you ask them to go and do case study, contohnya lah. Those are the kind of things. Okay.
Okay, thanks Prof. Okay, untuk soalan seterusnya daripada Muntasir, does the recorded lecture considered as a complete SIM equivalence?
Okay, tu yang saya kata tadi. Dia tak boleh lah satu. Some people are okay with recorded lectures. Okay, some people dia tak boleh recorded lecture saja. So SIM ni dia ada macam-macam. You have to have variety of things. Okay, some recorded lectures tu ada PowerPoint presentation. Tapi some recorded lectures you need to have your programming. For example, you are explaining how to do the programming, how to develop MATLAB programming. For example, how to do your SolidWorks or your AutoCAD. Okay, so that is a recorded session. Tetapi once it is a SIM lah, it's a SIM, tapi lepas tu to complete the whole process of learning mungkin kena ada a few hours of bukan face to face lah, online session, synchronous session pula. Tak boleh macam depend on SIM sahaja. Tapi kalau recorded session tu dia adalah satu SIM, one part of materials lah. Then compilations of this material will be very interesting lah kalau you ada compilation, not only recorded sahaja. It can be some boleh ada buku juga kan, it's a textbook, tapi of course lah nowadays student susah sikit nak baca textbook kan. You can simplify information dalam textbook tu, okay? Ataupun you kena highlight kan dekat textbook ni bahagian mana yang you want them to go and review. Okay, so alright, so I hope that answer the questions.
Okay, kita ada soalan lagi Prof, nak continue kan? Ada 4 soalan lagi.
Boleh. Is there any standard
Prof, is there any standard format or structure for the SIM?
Okay, I joined the morning session just now where Prof Zuraini explained the structure very well. Dia mesti ada dia punya structure, kena ada introductions, kena ada explanations, kena ada dia punya self-assessment, okay, where you give example to the student and ask them to do by themselves, and then maybe you give example where you show how to do it. Okay, so these are the standard format, bukanlah standard, tapi these are guideline on how to come up with an interesting sim. Okay, so I would suggest Ernie go through the morning session, listen again to what Prof Zuraini have explained. Very interesting. I joined the morning session just now. Very interesting. She gave a very interesting structure on how to develop a very good sim. Writing sim, dia buat writing sim, very interesting. I focus on video recording sim, but Prof in the morning she explained how to come up with writing sim. So there is a guideline where you have to follow, but of course it depends on how we want to do it, right? But if you follow the guideline, it will be very comprehensive, the sim that you have developed. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Prof. Okay, to next questions. When face-to-face mode resume post-COVID, it seems prepare is still relevant, especially when many courses are not actually registered in ODL.
I'm doing this. I'm going to go for this. You know, I'm all out and I'm going to do this because, you know, when you have face-to-face, as I mentioned just now when I do the explanation, when you do face-to-face, it's very good. It's very nice. You can speak to your student, you can meet your student. You know, the learning environment is very different. The energy that you have to deliver courses is really different compared to you are talking to laptop, you're talking to computer, you know, when you are in front of the student. So when it is having face-to-face, of course, is marvelous. Tetapi, should we just then tinggalkan all the sim that we have prepared? What do you think? Okay, for me, it have to be there as well. Okay, you must have that as well, because why? It help the student to go and do their revision. It help the student to go back and do their flip learning ataupun before even they come to your class. If you already provide them these materials, you put it in the LMS, they can actually go and review the material before they come to your class. So during your class, you can have a better session, you know, where you can have actively discussion with them. You can have active case study, descriptions of case study, contohnya ada elaborations of things. You relate what is the theoretical with the practical things. So you need this time, you know. So during the face to face, you use the time face to face tu untuk buat perkara ni. Yang macam theoretical, yang you rasa boleh derivation, contohnya saya mengajar kontrol kan, nak buat block diagram, nak buat block diagram manipulation lah, what not, all those things, I can put that in sim, so that student, dia benda ni dia kena practice tau. So bila dia go through the material, dia boleh practice and then they can learn from there. When they repeatedly doing it, dia boleh belajar lah. So dia boleh buat tu sebelum datang kelas. So when they come to class, I will not teach that part anymore, ataupun kalau ajar pun very maybe solving problem style rather than derivations and rather than going through the theory. So during the class, kita akan cerita more on how to relate the block diagram tu boring kan, so how to relate it with the real system. So kita buka real system, contohnya control processes, okay, thermodynamics processes, contohnya we come up with real system and how to actually change the real system into block diagram. That is an example. So kita go more theoretical guna sim. Yang dekat kelas kita use the time for us to have a very active discussions on something related to the practicality of the topics. I think that we should not abandon our sim, even though it is not registered as ODL. Yes, we should not abandon those sims that we have developed. Okay.
Okay, Prof. Saya rasa kami di sini rasa macam suara Prof semakin jauh lah.
Alamak, jauh ke?
Ada macam sedikit break up.
Hello.
Internet pun is not strong.
The internet is really bad. Dengar tak sekarang?
Dengar tapi macam jauh.
Ya ke? Sekejap, saya cuba.
Tapi bunyi yang bising tu dah kurang sikit, dah tak ada.
Oh, dah tak ada dah.
Suara dengar tapi jauh, tak apalah kot, saya boleh continue lah kot.
Boleh, boleh.
Tapi yang ni saya nak komen sikit tentang yang registered in ODL mode. So in terms of to expect, actually sebenarnya kalau you punya program tidak registered as ODL, so doesn't mean you tak boleh buat secara blended pun. So kita benarkan you buat secara blended. So walaupun you punya program tu you registered as conventional. So if in case kalau you nak buat full-fledged ODL, baru you need require another license lah, another approval. So kalau in terms of you punya program tu, you punya surat keputusan berdasarkan conventional, so you still boleh buat learning. So you, maknanya you boleh still continue lah walaupun you lepas COVID dan sebagainya, tadi issue. Sebab untuk yang ODL ni kita ada certain parameter lah. Kalau in terms of SLT ODL tu, kalau you sampai certain parameter tu, baru you kena apply another application lah for ODL. Kalau tak, untuk program sedia ada tu, you masih boleh buat secara blended learning. Okay, alright. Untuk soalan seterusnya, okay, daripada Cik Hanafi, saya ingin bertanya bagaimana untuk kendalikan subjek yang perlu operate equipment yang mana tidak terdapat demo atau apps yang sesuai, misalnya operate radio studio equipment.
Okey, bagaimana ingin mengendalikan subjek yang perlu operate equipment yang mana tidak terdapat demo atau apps yang sesuai. Macam banyak sebenarnya subjek yang kena guna equipment. Macam engineering ni memang terlalu banyak, especially yang contohnya you need to use macam contoh subjek mechatronics, robotics, all that kan. So kalau kita tak ada equipment, memang you bercakap teori saja is not going to be interesting. Okay, is going to be very difficult for student to understand. So normally memang kena ada kena buat recorded session lah. I think it's good to have recorded session. Contohnya I'm going to show later on how we can have a recorded session. Then from the recorded session tu kita contohlah macam mana technician actually handling the equipment dalam lab, and then when they handle in the lab, kita as a lecturer, kita come up with the recorded session, video tu kita explain what he's been doing and how to handle it. Of course, it's not as interesting or as yang komprehensif kalau student tu sendiri berada dalam lab. Tapi at least dia adalah satu method nak belajar juga rather than langsung tak ada kan. So it's actually try to help the student to understand. Okay, so kita kena buat jugalah recorded session tu. Boleh buat pakai video saja sebenarnya.
Okay, Prof.
Okay.
Kita ada lagi 2 soalan. Okay, soalan seterusnya. Prof, bagaimana kiraan masa pembelajaran pelajar SLT tidak bersemuka menggunakan SIM dan lain-lain bahan kita? Terima kasih.
Okey, kita seperti yang kita sedia maklum dalam CI biasanya untuk satu kredit equivalence to 40 hours, right? So dia punya face to face atau bersemuka tu ialah berapa 14 jam 14 jam, dan macam itulah pengkiraan. So kita ada 40 jam lagi yang lain, 40 jam tolak 14 jam, kita ada that remaining as our yang tidak bersemuka tu bolehlah dimasukkan dalam tu. So in total satu kredit kita ada 40 jam. Okay, so kalau kita nak buat face to face is only 14 hours, right? So that the remaining kita boleh assume yang student menggunakan SIM. Tapi sebenarnya kalau kita buat blended, even that 14 hours tu kita boleh juga count yang kita penggunaan SIM ni. Betul Cik Zamrin? Kalau saya salah tolong betulkan. Okay, even that 14 hours tu kita boleh gunakan material yang kita develop, SIM yang kita minta develop ni, kita boleh consider as how long lah kita gunakan untuk that 14 hours face to face. Macam itulah pengkiraannya. So kalau 3 kredit kita ada 120 jam, you tengok balik dekat CI, 120 jam tu kita dah bahagi-bahagikan untuk pembelajaran secara bersemuka, pembelajaran sendiri. Pembelajaran sendiri itulah yang digunakan SIM ni. So SIM ni macam dia baca buku lah, macam dia go through materials, macam dia self study lah, discussion dengan kawan-kawan. So tapi dia menggunakan SIM. Macam itulah. Okay?
Okay, betul tu. Okay, kalau in terms of ikut NP tidak menetapkan pun bagi jumlah SLT bagi setiap aktiviti, especially menggunakan SIM, cuma nanti terpulang kepada curriculum atau course coordinator untuk decide lah sebenarnya penetapan SLT itu bergantung kepada intensity of learning lah bagi setiap topik tu. Kalau topik tu quite tough, so actually sebenarnya the allocation of SLT tu boleh letak lebih dan sebagainya lah. Itu sebenarnya course coordinator je yang tahu bagi setiap topik tu yang menggunakan SIM sejauh mana portion untuk SLT bagi setiap topik. Okay, sorry.
Ya.
Okay, untuk soalan yang terakhir saya kira, satu lagi soalan Prof, seterusnya. Berapa lama penghasilan sesuatu SIM yang baik?
Okay, dia depend on how clever ke, macam mana nak cakap how hands on you are lah on utilizing all the apps, all the software. Saya ingat the first SIM saya develop, rasa penatnya, ya Allah, rasa tak nak buat dah, rasa lama sangat sebab kita tak pandai kan. Kalau macam people in open ke orang yang memang ODL ni, saya respect lah, memang dia sangat hebat, dia boleh buat cepat kan, and then they have team. Tapi kalau macam kita yang lecturer individually, kita buat sendiri-sendiri ni, memang it can take times. Tapi sebenarnya kalau you willing to invest your time to study on how to utilize all of the software, you invest your time on how to use all the editing software semua kan, you be able to do it in a shorter time. Dia boleh cepat lah, tak perlu lama. Tapi kadang-kadang nak buat 10 minit tu, it takes you more than 5 hours nak edit dan sebagainya. Depend on you lah. Kalau macam saya nak perfectionist sangat, memang kadang-kadang lama lah, ambil masa. Dah suara dah keluar pun tiba-tiba tersalah cakap sikit ke, saya padamkan balik kan. Depend. Tapi sebenarnya kalau the longer you are using the same software kan, you will learn, you will know how to do it better, dia akan jadi cepat lah. Dia akan jadi even improve from time to time. Okay, I hope that answer the questions.
Okay, soalan di Pigeonhole dah habis. Kita ada satu soalan lagi Prof dekat chat ya. Soalan ni berbunyi, if we are using recorded video, how do we assess the student for applications? They don't have the machines like what we have.
Betul, dia memang macam in terms of equipment lah. Engineering ni ada banyak equipment, so kita bagi dia macam overview. I'm sorry, saya padamkan video saya supaya tak ganggu internet connection sangat so I remove my video. Okay, dia memang SIM ni bukanlah komprehensif sampai you boleh belajar contohnya makmal memang kena face to face. Tapi kalau you kata okay, makmal tu nak remove, nak gantikan dengan SIM semua, memanglah tak boleh, sebab kita nak student tu ada hands on experience as well. Tapi at this kind of times when it is difficult for student to enter the lab and all, so at least we have some ways of helping them to understand the utilizations of equipment through the video recorded session that I have suggested earlier. Of course, it cannot replace the previous way of teaching yang memang student masuk makmal buat guna lathe machine, guna SIM machine dan sebagainya. Tapi at least we can show them how to do it, macam tu lah, dia belajar minimum lah yang tu, tapi tak boleh lah jadi komprehensif macam dulu. Okay, so for that question Miss Wan Haslinda sebenarnya memang tak boleh nak kata boleh completely replace learning hands on, memang tak, tapi it help a little bit lah. Okay, so betul lah, memang student kadang-kadang dia tak ada machine tu, so macam mana kita nak access dia knowledge kan. So in terms of experiment, engineering student, we can assess them in terms of their analysis. Okay, kita boleh buat equipment tu, penggunaan equipment tu mungkin yang tunjuk, yang demo adalah technician. Okay, lab people in the lab, ataupun lecturer sendiri buat demonstration, record the session, buatkan SIM satu related to that topics, and then your assessment, you kena tukar lah, you tak boleh assess dia penggunaan equipment kan, sebab dia tak guna equipment. So you assess dia in terms of the analysis, so macam mana data yang diperolehi daripada eksperimen tu, understanding dia on why you use the equipment and all. Okay, tapi I felt memang betul lah, I'm with you, memang betul dia tak boleh replace the whole process of course. Okay?
Okay, thanks Prof. At the moment soalan tak ada lagi. So mungkin Prof boleh continue balik lah tadi yang Prof kata nak share on the video.
Okay. I really hope my internet is not going to sabotage me. I'm gonna switch off my video so I gonna share screen. Okay, so I'm just going to use how long do I have for 30 minutes Alamak. Okay, I'm going to share screen lah. Boleh tak share screen kalau dekat sini? Boleh share desktop. Oops. Can you see my desktop or not?
Nampak Prof?
Kosong.
Okay.
Nampak kosong ke nampak MQA punya juga?
Tadi.
Okay, nampak tak apps OBS?
Nampak Prof.
Okay. So ni OBS, sekejap saya buka yang kosong lah. Yang ini saya dah buat sikit, saya buat yang kosong dulu. Okay, so ini OBS. Kalau kita buka OBS, you all boleh download OBS kejap saya cuba nampak hopefully you can see. Okay, ni yang saya tunjukkan tadi, this is OBS. Kalau kita nak buat recording dan sebagainya tu, kita boleh pakai ni lah. Kita boleh masukkan elemen yang dekat black ni, dekat black area ni is where you put all the sources that you want to put. Okay, so sekarang ni saya dah kosongkan dia. Kalau you tengok dekat sources ni tak ada apa-apa lagi kan. So saya nak start dengan contohnya I will add a background. Okay, so sebab saya tak nak dia hitam je kosong macam tu. So I want to add a background. So the background is an image. Okay, so image saya pilih sama ada existing, apa-apa image yang saya dah letak existing, ataupun I can choose from file lah. Kalau saya kata create new and then I click yes, and then I go and browse the image dekat mana yang saya dah save that image. Okay, I put it somewhere here, so I'm going to use this image. Okay, so now my background is no longer black lah. My background is having an image lah, a very nice image here. Of course guys, when you use all these image, you must buy them, okay? Ataupun kalau yang macam ni dia ada dia punya watermark, saya pakai je ni, saya tak beli yang ni tadi, saya pakai yang watermark. Tapi sebenarnya online kita boleh dapat banyak free pictures dekat free pic contohnya, you boleh dapat banyak free images, okay? So no need to worry kena beli dan sebagainya. So you can have all this. Okay, then I want to put my video, I pergi dekat source ni, I click plus. I hope you can see. Can you see Encik Zamrin when I do the demo? Nampak tak?
Nampak bro.
Then you, okay, kalau nampak, then you click your audio input sebab you nak record your video kan, your voice kan. So kita pakai existing microphone, sini kita masukkan, then you will have your microphone there lah. Nampak dekat audio mixer ni, nampak tak dia dah bergerak-gerak tu kan. So bermakna your voice will be recorded. Okay, then you add your video. So video ni kita boleh buat dua. Satu, kita boleh pakai kamera ataupun kita boleh pakai external camera pun boleh. Kalau you tengok orang yang very into ODL kan, dia memang ada dia punya very high end camera, dia ada dia punya very high end microphone kan. So you boleh add juga, no problem. Tapi kalau saya ni tak high end sangat, saya pakai yang existing sajalah. Okay, so there you go, there's my camera. So I adjust sikit size dia. So kamera saya ni sebenarnya kalau asalnya dia ada apa ni, ada gambar background. Sekejap saya buat macam mana nak remove background. Sebenarnya dia ada gambar background saya, nampak dinding saya lah sebenarnya. Tapi tadi saya dah buat filter. Sekejap, katalah saya remove this. Dia asalnya dia nampak macam ni. Asalnya dia nampak dinding belakang saya ni kan, dia tak adalah secantik Zoom kan dah ada background kita boleh set kan. So kalau OBS ni you kena set balik lah macam mana you nak jadikan dia cantik macam Zoom. So pertama sekali dekat video ni you pergi letak filter. Filter we add, dekat bawah ni ada button add, you can click add and then you play chroma key. So chroma key ni kita namakan dia chroma key. I akan cakap cancel lah sebab saya memang dah ada chroma key tu. Okay, and then you kena find color dinding you. Kalau you ada color dinding you memang green screen, then you pilih green screen lah. Kalau color dinding you blue, you pilih blue lah. Kalau tak, you boleh custom-made. Okay, custom-made ni you boleh select color. Sebenarnya kita boleh pick the color ni. Saya dah pick lah color asal-asal dinding saya. Memang saya buat warna hijau biru ni supaya senang. Saya jadikan dia green screen untuk buat recording session saya. Okay, ni dekat rumah Okay, then the similarity ni you can adjust so that later on when it is when you on it, it will reduce, dia punya gambar belakang tu akan clear, akan hilang. Okay, so saya adjustkan dia. Okay. Oh, jangan hilang badan pula, hilangkan background saja. Okay, so dia dah hilang. Adalah some noise sikit kat situ, tak apalah nanti kalau you nak buat, you buat cantik lah. Dia boleh, actually kita boleh adjust betul-betul sampai hilang. Okay, kalau lah ternampak kat sini, nampak kita punya apa tu, meja semua kan, kita boleh crop that. Saya tunjuk satu-satu biar semua orang tahu. Kita boleh cropkan kiri dan kanan. Contohnya kat sini, I nak crop kanan ni, saya nak crop 400. Okay, sebab saya tak nak ada dinding tepi tu, sorry. Mana? Okay, I do the fill, I do the crop, terlupa nak crop, okay. Okay, now dah crop kan, kita adjust lah sikit, kita tak tahu berapa yang sebenarnya, kita trial and error je lah, adjustkan contohnya. Okay, so that gambar apa-apa yang ada kat tepi-tepi kita yang kita tak nak keluar dekat kita punya video tu, hilang. Okay, so kalau you suka gambar muka you saja macam ni, belakang background anything like this, boleh. Kalau you nak letak belakang ni ada gambar office ke, ada gambar tower UTM ke, KLCC ke, apa pun boleh. Okay, so contohnya saya nak masukkan gambar macam ada office lah, tak naklah nampak muka tergantung je macam tu kan. So I letak gambar office satu. I can, okay, tadi kalau saya add image, sama ada saya add dekat source pun boleh, tapi kalau saya nak klik drag and drop pun boleh. Drag and drop, oops. Sekejap, size dia besar sangat So I hope kalau you all ada OBS ni, you can do this together with me. Ataupun kalau you tak ada, you boleh download while I'm doing this, you can download them and then we can do this together lah. So that we can learn how to come up with our, bila kita dah buat setting ni, so you anytime you boleh save the setting. So anytime you nak record your video later on, you dah tak perlu buat setting ni lagi. Okay, so it will be there for you. So saya nak pilih gambar office yang cantik ni, macam dekat US pula kita kan. Okay, so saya letak, okay sekarang ni office ni dekat depan saya kan, so I will just move it up and down. So that office if I move it down, okay dia jadi kat belakang saya lah sekarang. Okay, so you dah dapat macam, I know this is very crude sebenarnya kena adjust properly lah, dia jadi cantik lagi, okay, tapi at least it's there. Okay, so kalau macam ni kan, dia tak mirror image kan, dia tengok muka, kita boleh terbalikkan dia jadi mirror image dan sebagainya lah. Okay, so how to put your PowerPoint? Okay, so let's say I want to put my PowerPoint, I just add dekat sini, add input. Okay, so I have to have my PowerPoint ready lah. So before I add, I have to have my PowerPoint. Let's say I want to put my my control punya PowerPoint ni, sorry, my class punya PowerPoint ni. I nak masukkan dia dekat dalam my OBS. Okay, so I pergi dekat, oops. Add material here, add source, so you want to add what? Okay, so kita nak add window capture. Okay, so you go for window capture, I will name it PowerPoint. Okay, dia window capture ni boleh macam-macam, YouTube channel, apa-apalah kita nak. Okay, then kita nampak kat window ni kalau ada, kalau tak ada, you klik yang show empty names ni Okay, and then you cari yang mana satu PowerPoint tadi. Okay, dekat sini dia ada PowerPoint, ni control ni. This is my PowerPoint, and I click OK. Alright, then I can resize it. Oops. Okay, resize, oops. Kalau yang background ni tadi kita dah tak nak tukar dia kan, kita nak kekalkan dia kat situ. Kalau when we keep on editing, dia bergerak-gerak. Okay, so what you can do, you pergi dekat gambar tadi tu, kat image background tu, you lock, tekan dekat bawah ni ada button macam keypad tu kan. Kalau you click one time, dia akan lock. So yang gambar background tadi dah tak bergerak-gerak lah. Alright, so ni PowerPoint ni saya adjustkan dia dekat sini. Okay, tapi one thing about this OBS PowerPoint ni kita tak boleh buat slideshow tau, sebab nanti susah kita nak control. Sebab kita nak kena control dua-dua panel kan, kita nak control kita punya OBS, at the same time nak control kita punya PowerPoint. So we cannot buat slideshow. So you make sure your PowerPoint ni you buat besar-besar macam ni lah, and then you remove yang apa ni, yang grid dan sebagainya, ruler dan sebagainya. Dan kalau kita tak nak nampakkan yang atas dan bawah tu, kita boleh crop. So kalau saya pergi dekat PowerPoint ni, saya pergi kat filter, I can add filter here, I just click plus. Nanti I'm sorry, I'm going to go through this very quickly. Kalau you all nak belajar, you can go back and learn balik semula lah this recorded session. So you pergi dekat crop ni, just name it whatever, crop pad for example, and then you can crop top and bottom, sebab kita tak nak nampakkan yang ada kita punya apa tu, ruler semua tu kan. So I can crop atas tu 200 ke contohnya. Tengok, dia trial and error lah sebab kita tak tahu yang mana bagus kan. 150, kecil sangat, 100, kecil sangat. Okay, 50 ataupun maybe 55. Okay, just nice. Yang bawah tu mungkin nak potong sikit, maybe 20. Okay, so it's just nice. Then you see close. So your PowerPoint nampak macam tu. So every time you move your PowerPoint dekat OBS tu, dia punya display akan move jugalah. Okay, right? I'm not gonna and then let's say I want to add my iPad. Okay, so iPad saya dah connect dengan PC. I can connect it using QuickTime Player. Okay, so sekarang ni saya dah ada QuickTime Player. iPad saya dah connectkan dekat QuickTime Player. So sekarang ni saya nak add dia dekat saya punya OBS screen ni. So I click plus and I click sekali lagi window capture. Okay, and then sebenarnya dah ada iPad ni, tapi saya nak tunjuk macam nak buat. So saya panggil je lah iPad lagi sekali. iPad 2 ke. Okay, and then I will choose iPad dia connect dengan Mac. Saya pakai Mac, so dia connect kat Mac, saya pakai QuickTime Player. Sebenarnya you boleh connect dengan whatever software that your electronic device is using. Okay, so I click with this one. So it's there lah. Oh, sorry, I tak nak yang ni, I nak yang my course. Okay, betul lah. So it's there. Okay, so ni iPad saya. Sekejap. Is it right? Hang on, salah ni. Sekejap. Balik semula sebab dia tersalah pilih. Sini. You go back to the window capture, and then I dah save iPad, so I just ambil lah yang ni. Bukan, sorry, betul lah. Okay, it's there. So yang ini dia adalah QuickTime lah saya letak. So I put down here. Sebab kalau kita mengajar engineering ni, student ni dia nak tengok semua benda kan, dia bukan nak tengok rupa kita sangat kan, dia nak tengok kita punya derivations, dia nak tengok kita punya slide at the same time, okay, dia nak tengok kita punya writing apa semua kan. So you can put there. So kalau macam ni tadi kan terlalu besar ni, tepi-tepi ni besar, you boleh crop lagi sekali lah macam I buat tadi. Okay, so I crop left and right lah sebab yang ni besar sangat kan, kosong tepi tu. So okay, right, left and right. Maybe right dia 150 also. Okay. Alright, so I have my iPad there. So every time I buat my derivations, contohnya, I can write there using my handwriting. So I can add other things, for example, my names. Down here I can add UTM logo if I like, okay, your university logo if you like. Okay, so just kalau you nak add logo, you just click and drop, drag and drop saja. Besar sangat. Okay, kecilkan sikit. Okay, dia yang mula-mula je you nak buat, dia akan take time. Sebenarnya tak take time lama pun. Okay, tapi nanti the moment you dah selalu buat, you boleh save this setting, you dah tak payah nak buat setting ni all the time, you dah boleh guna setting yang ada je. So I put UTM names there, logo. Okay, so I can put my name if I like. I just click text. Okay, macam-macam benda kita boleh buat a lot of things we can add here. Okay, so let's say I want to add new text. Okay, ni kita boleh letak nama lah. Salah. Okay, then you can change the font if you like. Change it to what? Packer. Okay, and then change the size. Of course, that is too big. You boleh tukar ke size kecil sikit. Alright, so it's there. So mana nak letak? So letak bawah ni maybe. Okay, you can add your email address if you like. So macam ni je lah. Okay, so I don't really like to put so many words because nanti masa kita buat video editing, kita boleh letak lagi perkataan kat sini. So kalau you nak letak nama course ke apa ke boleh, tapi actually you boleh buat masa kat video editing. You boleh masukkan pakai iMove tu dia lagi cantik dia punya video editing. Dia punya wording yang you tulis tu dia akan jadi lagi cantik. Kalau muka ni rasa besar sangat, kecilkan sikit. Takut pula student tengok muka kita besar sangat kan. Okay, kita besarkan slide lah, lebih bagus dengan kita punya notepad ni. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so you dapat satu scene. Tapi let's say I want to teach, I don't want to use this scene all the time. I nak banyakkan scene ni. Let's say I want to use this scene tapi saya nak cuma notes dengan saya punya slide saja. So I just go back to the slide yang saya buat, scene yang saya buat tadi, MQA saya namakan dia tu. I just duplicate it. Alright, so I name it MQA2 lah contohnya. Okay, so this is the second scene. Second scene saya tak nak ada my video contohnya. So I say yes. Delete kita boleh klik and then just tekan delete ataupun you boleh pakai the negative button kat bawah tu. Okay, so kalau saya tak nak tu saya besarkan ni. Alright, so then I have my slide is bigger than my writing pad as well. So kita boleh ada dua saja, tak perlu ada gambar video all the time kan. Then kalau saya nak pelbagaikan juga, so saya ada dah dua scene. Satu video, slide and notepad, satu lagi scene cuma notepad and also my slide. Okay, so then let's say I want to have something else. Saya nak letak my YouTube where I have my recorded video on lab work contohnya kan. So saya boleh tambah lagi lah. Saya nak letak saya letak satu scene, I duplicate this scene saja pergi dekat MQA2 ni, you duplicate saja scene ni sebab nak cepat kan. Kita pun tak banyak masa. So I panggil dia MQA3. Okay, so sekarang ni let's say I tak nak ubah slide. I nak letak, I tak nak ubah notepad. Delete notepad. I want to put my slide and I nak letak YouTube link dekat sini. Okay, so I just go dekat source, you tekan plus, you tekan window capture and then let's call it YouTube. Sebab apa? Sebab mungkin your video tu you dah buat practical lab ni, you dah record your technician is doing the practical lab video and then you upload that in the YouTube contohnya, ataupun you boleh letak juga as a video tapi macam nak, kalau kat YouTube tu dia punya data tu tak pakai banyak kan. Okay, so then dekat window ni kita kena carilah YouTube. So first and foremost before you add, you kena adalah YouTube. So I buka dah, tadi ada prepare this one. Ni bukan my lab ni somebody else lab. So I want to just use it. Contohnya untuk tunjukkan my student. Of course you have to have permission, you have to cite them, you have to acknowledge them. Kalau you tunjuk video orang, kalau you record this material, ethically you must tell lah, you must write down. You either you write down here and request for it to be used, ataupun you boleh minta, you boleh cite them lah, which site that you use to show. Tapi yang baiknya you tunjuk your own video lah, senang. Okay, dekat mana tu? Where is it? Tak nampak pula kat mana dia. Google. Tak ada. Tak ada pula. Sekejap saya cuba yang lain. Oh, show empty window names. Okay, baru ada. Tak jumpa pula dia, mana dia pergi. Oh, this one. Okay, Google Chrome that is your YouTube, whatever video that you put in YouTube. Let's say you want to demo to your student kan. So you dah masukkan video ni dalam YouTube, and then ni bukanlah ni I pakai orang punya video, tapi sebenarnya kalau boleh you put your own video that you have buat demonstration with your technician for example, and then you want to explain to your student how to use it. So of course macam ni tak cantik kan. So what we can do is we can macam tadilah saya just pergi dekat filter, I just crop top and bottom because I don't want it to show all the other things. Crop the bottom one is maybe, I don't know, let's try. Okay, and then the top one maybe I want to crop a little bit. Dia trial and error lah ni sebab kita tak tahu size sebenar kan. Sebenarnya kalau you tahu size senang. Okay dah, that's it. Ataupun nak crop lebih banyak. Okay, this is better. Okay, so you have that video there and then you have your slide, ataupun you want your face again dekat sini pun boleh lah. Instead of slide, you want to explain what is going on, right? So you want to have your video here pun boleh. You pergi balik dekat video tadi tu, you copy and paste saja. Mana video you tadi? Sini kan? Kalau nak buat balik dah susah, so you just copy saja. Control C and then pergi ke MQA punya yang scene yang lain tadi, Control V, boleh je. Tak ada masalah, cuma kena resize balik lah. Tapi dah tak payah nak buat editing yang tadi tu susah-susah tu, dah tak payah. Dia dah so oops, sorry. So I can actually then record this movie, this topic where I can describe to the student using my slide and using the YouTube video. Okay, so while I'm doing the recording, I can just play the YouTube here and I can play the slide from my other panel ni lah. Dan dekat sini saya cuma perlu control scene aja. Sama ada saya nak scene yang pertama saya pakai tadi, scene kedua atau scene yang ketiga. Okay, so then you can start recording. Macam itulah. Tapi kalau you nak buat cantik-cantik lagi, macam-macam benda lagi lah, you can add into this. Okay, so for the time is sebab time tak banyak, I just do that one. Okay, I want to show you. Once you have done this, katalah you dah setting, you dah happy and you want to use this, you can either stream this directly to Facebook sebab nowadays you are talking about new generation, people are using Facebook, people are learning using YouTube kan, you can stream it directly. So kalau you duduk kat rumah tu, you want suddenly you feel that you want to teach someone, not necessarily your student, you want to develop material, you nak stream saja, you boleh stream. Tak perlu orang invite you bagi talk macam hari ni. You can actually upload your own stream dekat your Facebook. Okay, so I can just click dekat control ni, start stream, tapi before that I have to do my setting. Saya pergi dekat setting, kalau saya nak stream lah I show quickly. Pergi dekat kita punya stream ni, okay, dekat stream key ni, you kena pergi get stream key. Okay, so if I go, alright, before I get stream key ni, kita boleh pilih tau nak stream dekat YouTube ke, kat live Facebook ke, dekat Twitter ke, ataupun kat banyak lagi channel lain. Okay, katalah saya nak tunjuk dekat Facebook lah. Okay, bila saya klik get stream key, dia akan pergi dekat my Facebook sebab saya dah sign in my Facebook, dia akan pergi kat my Facebook lah. Kalau you sign in your Facebook, you will be going to your Facebook. So you cakap you nak go live. Okay, you klik go live. Nanti jangan immediately go live kena ambil, okay. Alright, so you nak post dekat mana? Kalau you nak go live, you nak post kat your timeline ke, you nak post dekat page ke? Contoh you are the admin of MQA page, so you can post dekat MQA page, You nak post dekat group sahaja ataupun you ada secret group of student you saja. You don't want other people to watch it, you want your student only to watch it. So you can post in the group of your student. Okay, so and then you can also make it public or you can add this one lah. Okay, stream key tadi tu dekat sini, nampak tak? So I can just copy here. Okay, then I go back to my my OBS. I can paste that stream key. Okay, betul tak? Cuba tengok show through. Okay, then I click OK. So once I click OK, then if I start streaming maknanya belum lagi tau, dia belum recording lagi, dia belum live lagi, tapi dia dah connected to the Facebook. Can you see the Facebook then, nampak tak? Dah ada dah video saya. So kalau saya nak terus go live, I can just click here, go live. So now I can then immediately talk, tapi dia live lah. Live maknanya kalau salah cakap ke apa ke, dia akan salah lah. Okay, so I can quickly talk and then while I'm talking, I can slide through yang scene tadi tu. So saya ubah-ubah scene kan. Sambil bercakap, dia akan recorded lah dekat kita, dia akan streaming dekat kita punya Facebook. This is if you need to stream. Tapi kalau katalah you tak nak stream, today I don't want to stream, I want to record saja. So I can forget about this Facebook, cancel, tak nak. Okay, closed. I can go to my OBS balik. I said I want to start record. Okay, so if I want to start record, I pergi klik dekat start recording ni. Okay, actually before I start record, dia dah start recording lah sebenarnya sekarang ni. Sebenarnya lupa nak cakap, sebelum kita buat recording ni, kita boleh buat setting dululah. You nak save you punya file ni dalam bentuk MKV ke, dalam bentuk MP4 ke, you boleh buat kat setting. Okay, so now it is recording. So saya boleh start lah bagi kelas, talk about my topics, what is it that I want to deliver to my student. While talking to them, I have to control two things lah. Banyak benda nak buat kan sebenarnya. Satu, nak kena control kita punya slide. Okay, so let's say I klik dekat slide ni tadi, saya boleh control my slide. So now it is recording tau, my OBS ni. So then suddenly katalah masa saya buat, saya tunjuk that I want to write down the mathematics more. So I can just go back to the OBS and then pergi dekat scene yang lain. Okay, scene yang di mana saya boleh buat explanation more lah. So dekat sini. Okay, so I can then use this notepad, okay, untuk buat derivations as I like lah. Okay, whatever I want to write. Okay. Alright, so it's there. So now the scene is recording. Okay, I'm so sorry, nampak tak merah-merah tu? Sebenarnya dekat merah-merah tu dia akan hilang kalau kita lock ni, tadi saya lupa nak lock. So kalau kita lock scene ni tadi, dia hilang lah merah-merah tu. So masa recording biasanya kita dah lock semua supaya dia tak berubah-ubah, okay. And then I can just go to this, okay, apa yang saya buat. Contohnya saya nak tunjukkan masa kelas juga, I want to show them Jamboard contohnya. I can just go to my online session and I can buat macam mana rupa Jamboard. Macam kalau saya nak tunjukkan YouTube tadi tu, saya boleh tunjukkan YouTube tadi, okay, while recording the session. Alright, so now it is recording lah my session, so I can show whatever I want lah dekat mereka. Okay, Mentimeter ke contohnya, I want to show my Mentimeter, I can show to them while recording the session with my slide. And then kalau saya nak buat note balik, saya pergi tukar lah dekat yang ada notes. Okay, so this is how you do it. So let's stop recording. Okay, so once you have stopped your recording, you can then edit your mana recording. Bila you dah stop recording, you pergi dekat file ni and show recording. Okay, so it will be there. Yang mana satu, yang this one tu. Ni ke? Oh, this one. Okay, so this is your recording. So recording ni yang kita akan edit. Okay, I hope that is okay for OBS. So I'm gonna stop OBS now. I'm gonna show you quickly how to edit the video. Do I have time? I have time kan? Okay, I will stop the OBS and then my iMovie. iMovie is a software, dia rupa dia macam ni. Okay, so where I will have to import my media. Okay, I dah ada tadi yang my recorded session tu kan, dekat Finder ni. So I will add the media here. Okay, so this is my recorded session. So bila you buka iMovie, ni rupa dia. Dia ada tempat you nak letak all your media. And then it will display here as a preview, and then the way you want to edit is down here dekat bawah ni. Okay, you want to edit whatever you want to do. Alright, so let me just upload dulu my media. Dia drag and drop saja. So I drag and I drop here. Okay, so there you go. That's my media that I recorded just now. So now I want to edit it. I just bring it down here. Okay, so that's my media tadilah, 2 minutes duration. So katalah in between ni saya nak letak, mungkin awal tadi saya tak ada letak title of my presentation. Soal, okay, dekat atas ni ada kita punya media, audio, title, background and transition, right? So I go to the title and then I nak letak a standard introductions. I just click and drop. That's all. Okay, drop dekat mana? Tak drop pula. Sorry. Tak nak dekat, dia kalau kita letak atas dia bercampur. Kalau kita letak depan dia akan jadi sebelum. So kat sini kita letaklah apa kita nak letak title kita ni. Contohnya, sorry. Nama kelas tadi apa? Control kan? Contohlah MQA saya letak. So I want to put here control lah contohnya, that's my class, right? So this is my name contohnya. Whatever you want to write, you can write lah as your apa ni? Intro of your class. So you can also change the color, you can change the background. Okay, but I don't want to go through that lah. Later on you can do yourself. So bila you play, now you tengok balik dia dah ada you punya introductions. Contoh macam tu. Dah ada introductions. And then actually before I start recording, to my video tadi lah sound dia dah keluar juga. Okay, so that's my video. And then in between this slide, let's say I want to letak, I want to edit. Okay, there are some part ni tadi macam contoh dekat sini ada part yang mana saya punya iPad tu tertutup kan. So saya tak suka. So I want to delete it. So I just go here, I right click, dia akan keluar panel ni. So I just buat split clips. Okay, so dekat sini pun right click, split clips. Mana dia? Okay, sini I nak split clips dekat sini. Okay, then this clip I nak delete. I can just delete in between. Okay, so you tengok tadi daripada 2 minit 12 second or something, dia jadi 2 minit 2 second macam tu. So kalau in between here I nak letak anything, okay, nak letak title balik semula ke, nak letak notes ke, kita boleh ambil daripada atas ni lah. It's very nice sebenarnya tau. You boleh letak apa-apa you nak letak. Macam ni kan, saya tiba-tiba je letak stardust and then letak title. Maybe in between slide kan, you nak kata, nak cerita something else, right? You nak buat daripada block diagram tadi, you nak cerita transfer function contohnya. Whatever you want lah. Contohlah, okay. So now your video rather than kosong je macam tu, dia dah ada and then pergi dekat transition. Macam tu lah. Saya main letak je dekat mana-mana. Whatever case, you kena letak betul-betul lah properly. Okay, so kalau katalah suara saya tinggi sangat tadi, saya nak reduce kan, saya pergi kat sana, yang belah bawah tu is suara. Okay, so I have suara tinggi sangat tadi kan. So I adjust the voice, they become slow. Whatever I want to write, okay? Okay, they become so slow. It's there. So just my voice is become slower lah because I reduce the volume. So you can do a lot of things here. You nak masukkan background pun boleh, you nak buat transitions. Contohnya in between slide tu, you ada tukar slide, tapi dekat slide, when you come out with your slide, you tak ada transition. So you nak letak transition, so kita split clip. Katalah I nak split clip, dekat sini saya nak letak transition dia seolah-olah macam ada page curl to the left for example. So I can put there. So then you go, my video become nice. To my student, while talking to them, I have to, dia ada macam transition dekat situ lah. So I can do a lot of other things. Contohnya saya nak letak music lah, I tak suka sound dia boring sangat. So I dah download music. Okay, you in terms of music, of course you have to find music yang no copyright. Okay, so you boleh buka kat YouTube, you boleh search background music, free background music yang tak ada copyright, and you can download them into MP3 and you can just drag and drop here. Okay, so I pun masukkan kat sini, so now it's coming with music. So tapi music ni kuat sangat kan, nampak tak dia punya volume tu kuat sangat, kita boleh reducekan lah. Okay, so now it become with music. Mana music? Actually before I start recording, dia dah start recording lah sebenarnya sekarang ni. Sebenarnya lupa nak cakap. Sebelum suara saya kuat sangat kan tu kan, saya kena reducekan lah. Kuat sangat saya rasa. Okay, so I can reduce my voice. I nak reduce my voice pun I just klik dekat panel tu, you nampak tak? Bila keluar dekat suara tu, you just move it up and down, that's all. Okay, so now it's better. Actually before I start recording, dia dah start recording lah sebenarnya sekarang ni. Sebenarnya lupa nak cakap. Sebelum kita buat, so macam itulah. So this is how you do the editing. So how beautiful you want your slide to be apa semua, you have to be very creative lah. Somebody asked just now, how long it takes to produce this? It is actually up to you. Kalau you rasa macam nak benda tu sangat cantik, sangat menarik kan, you kena masa yang lama lah. Kalau you nak very simple, very straightforward, you pakai screen recording pun dah boleh. Okay, tak perlu nak buat macam-macam macam itulah. So ada tak? Okay, dia akan ni saya tadi tak ada penutup, so I can put the end there as a penutup, ataupun I can put some informations in between. Contohnya saya nak letak in between, I nak letak some title at the bottom. Okay, pun boleh dekat sini, dekat bawah ni saya nak letak ada title. Kat bawah ni. So suddenly je nampak tak slide kita tiba-tiba je dah ada some titles there. So you can do this, you know, with your iMovie. So once you have done it, you pergi dekat hujung sebelah kanan ni, you can share, right? So share ni sama ada kita save the current, export the file, masuk terus kat YouTube, atau we can email to student if you like. Tapi I normally just go and export. Tapi of course you have to edit this properly according to your wanting lah, whatever you want to put there, you kena dah masukkan dan sebagainya. That's all for editing. So once you have editing your video, you dah edit your video, it become one scene. Dah jadi satu material lah yang boleh digunakan dalam you punya SIM. Then you can put your SIM into the LMS. I mentioned about LMS just now. So yang tadi tu SIM lah saya tak nak tunjuk lebih lama lah. Editing tu you boleh belajar sendiri. Saya pun belajar sendiri-sendiri saja. Tak apa ni, tanya kawan-kawan je, belajar sendiri, tanya kawan-kawan je. Okay, so LMS contoh yang macam saya tunjuk sekarang ni is let's say untuk open Blackboard. Tak boleh pula. Okay, salah password. Okay, so this is LMS. So what I can do is, this one is actually a very short course. Saya masukkan one day courses saja dalam ni. Tapi benda ni is the same. I'm going to have this repeatedly kan. So saya masukkan content dekat sini. This is a course content between me and my colleague Dr. Nur Fadila. So kita masukkan information kat sini lah. So yang tadi video-video recorded tu, if I want to add, I can just add here. So LMS is a platform where you collect all the SIM that you have developed. Okay, so kat dalam ni contohnya kita dah ada video recorded, contohnya ya, I buka kat sini course content. So you have informed the student what is the structure of the course, how it is going to be delivered and all. Okay, dekat bawah ni kita dah videos. Okay, so some of the materials are PDF, for example, some of the material are video recorded. So not all material have to be video recorded. Okay, so some of them can be PDF, is also considered as SIM. Okay, as long as it's interesting lah and self instruction, dia boleh self study the material. Okay, so dekat sini lah macam-macam kita dah letak kat sini. Alright, so this is where you put all your SIM. You can actually have good discussion with students here as well. You can grade the students. So in this case, I put some case study, for example, and the student answered the case study. Contohnya, I buka this discussion. Okay, I give some topic for the student to discuss. This one is not about control. This one is about ethics. And then the student actually give their opinion according to these topics. So what is the opinion? So based on their opinion, we can tell if they have gone through our material or not. Sebab because we ask them to go through the material before they answer all the case study kan. And then we can also have our grade book and also analytic here lah. And then student kalau dia nak message kita pun dia boleh message straight away here. So this is a beautiful LMS lah by Blackboard and hired license to UTM space. So Kalau yang tadi tu saya kata kita boleh buat join session secara online pun ada kat sini lah, join session online. Okay, and then we can also have a question bank here. I can also put some questions bank here so that student can actually try to attempt to do the questions. Okay, cuma in this case, this course is actually a one-day course, so saya tak adalah bank of questions semua. Saya cuma ada satu announcement dan sebagainya lah, sebab dia one-day course sahaja. Alright, and the student have to go through the material before they come to the class. So for this course actually, they ada online, blended lah, dia blended. So dia ada flip learning where they go through the material first, and then they have one day synchronous session with us. Okay, so that's all for web. I think that will be all. I don't think we have more time to show more LMS. Okay, so is that alright? That's all I have to say about LMS lah. Okay, so I pass back to you, Zamrin.
Okay, thank you Prof atas saya kira penerangan dan perkongsian yang saya rasa sangat informatif pada khususnya pembangun SIM berdasarkan perkongsian tadi. Saya khususnya bagi panduan step by step lah, secara teknikal bagi perekodan video lah melalui apps ODS tadi. Saya rasa sebahagian besar daripada perkongsian Prof ni boleh dijadikan panduan atau praktis di institusi masing-masing lah oleh para peserta. Saya rasa saya dimaklumkan kita masih lagi ada 3 soalan ya.
Okay.
4 soalan untuk dijawab dan kita pergi kepada soalan di dalam chat dahulu daripada mana ni ya, Mawarni. Okay, salam Prof. Is it compulsory to trace the student engagement in utilizing each component of SIM?
Okay, it depend. Ada SIM yang kita rasa memang very important. Contohnya there is actually the body of knowledge, that there's a specific body of knowledge that we want to deliver is very important. I think we should trace if the student gone through or not. Sebab kita tak nak student kita letak dia tak pergi pun, dia tak tengok pun kita punya content kan. Dah lah kita penat buat tadi berjam-jam, tiba-tiba dia tak tengok pun content kita. Lepas tu nanti test dia dapat teruk. Okay, so ada content that you can ask them, you can actually monitor. And also if you use LMS, dia ada data analytic. You can actually monitor how many times they have visited, downloaded or visited the content. Okay, so perlu. Tapi kalau macam katalah kita buat tu sebagai SIM tu ada sebagai just a simple explanation for them to answer questions ataupun just a backup of the explanation that we have done online. So yang itu kalau tak nak pergi, kita tak nak monitor pun tak ada masalah, no problem. So it depend on which element. Kalau element tu memang part of body of the knowledge yang memang very important topics that you need them to study before they come synchronous session yang you nak buat case study discussion and all, I think we should monitor. I will do that. I will monitor the student kalau dia tengok ke tidak, sebab nanti dia datang je saya punya online classes, the first thing I do is ask them question related to that topic. So kalau dia tak go through, memang kesianlah dia, nanti dia pun out of dia pun terketepilah masa kawan lain discuss. SIM ni kan Cik Zamrin can be as interesting as you can even give the student video, bukan video you buat, you suruh dia pergi tengok movie pun for that matter. Baru ni I gone through a class UTM Dean's course where one of the faci asked us to watch a Netflix series. Seronok kan dapat assignment macam tu. Tengok Netflix series of tajuk dia The Chair. The Chair is actually a very good movie, series movie where it actually explain change of management and also disruptions in leadership and all. So kalau kita tak go through that, when come to the next session, memang kita tak boleh nak engage in the discussion because the discussion is related to the assignment given. Macam itulah. So ada yang kita kena detect if I was to keep track if they actually go through the material, ada yang boleh tidak. Macam itulah jawapannya. I hope that answer the questions.
Okay, thanks Prof. Ada soalan di Pigeon Hole? Share yourself. Okay, can we count in our SIM that 10 minutes of recorded and edited video be considered as one CLP hour?
Okey, sebenarnya memang dia punya guideline itu macam itulah, satu SLT hours is considered equivalent to 10 minutes video. Okey, tapi tengok juga 10 minutes video tu how, kalau you dalam 10 minutes video tu tak komprehensif kan, macam taking too long, nak describe satu perkara tu pun kita pun terketar-ketar kan, tak dapat explain in very nice and very impactful 10 minutes, then maybe tak sama. Okay, so dia subjective, this question. So it depends on how good that 10 minutes. So if that 10 minutes is really impactful presentation, dia nak tahu impactful ke tidak, masa you nak produce that 10 minutes tu, you spend 5 hours macam tu lah, baru you dapat rasakan that 10 minutes tu memang impactful presentation. Then yes, it can be considered as 1 hour SLT. Tapi kalau macam 10 minutes tu pun kita ada hiccups there and here, and then the presentation also not very impactful, okay, you pun ada harm there and here and all, so maybe not necessarily fixed to 10 minutes lah, you can actually produce a bit longer. Okay, tapi itulah as I mentioned earlier, don't make it for too long because it will be very boring lah. Student nanti dia nak stop kan, dia dah boring dia kena stop. Tapi the moment dia stop, tak tahu bila balik, bila lagi dia nak revisit the same material kan. And then bila dia nak revisit the same material, dia maybe dia terpaksa repeat balik ataupun dia tercari-cari kat mana dia stop tadi kan. So might as well you buat a shorter video tapi more materials. Okay, beberapa sessions lah. Alright.
Okay, thanks Prof. I think kita ada one last question. Okay, what if the student does not go through the SIMS before the synchronization? It will end up the discussion unit synchronization as lecture class.
That's why I said kena keep track. So kalau kita pakai LMS yang bagus, yang boleh keep track, kita boleh notify them again. Make sure kita boleh keep on telling them lah. Kita ada forum kat situ kan. Kita boleh keep on telling them, remind them that they have to go through this module before the class started. Otherwise, end up memang they cannot actually join the discussion. They will be left behind lah. They are not going to be engagedly discussing the matter. Alright, so yeah, you have to ask them to go through. Tapi tahulah knowing student kan, dah suruh pun dia tak buat juga kan. So during my synchronous session, normally kalau dia go through, very good. Kalau dia tak go through, saya akan gunakan juga the first few minutes to give some background on whatever the sim that I have developed, so that kalau yang mana tak go through tu, dia tahulah what is the rough ideas I have described in the sims. Okay, tapi the best thing is you keep you can ada satu forum, satu discussion where you can remind them to go through the syllabus, to go through the content. Okay. So saya rasa ni memang semua student macam tu. Kadang-kadang ada je kan group of student yang bukanlah dia tak rajin, tapi maybe time is not there for them kan. Some of our student, they are currently student is not necessarily orang yang baru habis matriculation join degree. No, sometimes they are workers and they are working already. They are like technician somewhere. They are workers somewhere kan. So they are very busy. Okay, so memang kadang-kadang kita dah buat SIM tu, kita dah letak pun they don't have time. Okay, so this is very common. You have to have passion lah and patience untuk bantu student kita untuk berjaya dalam education mereka.
Okay, Prof, ada satu lagi soalan baru masuk. Kita boleh share satu lagi ya, Prof? Boleh ya?
Okay, no problem.
Daripada Melvina, Prof, good day to you. I would like to know if the course learning outcome is industrial training. In order to complete the course, can it be registered under ODL program or blended learning?
If, macam mana baca soalan dia, if the course learning outcome needs industrial training, in order to complete the course, can it be registered under ODL program or blended? Apa maksud dia ni Cik Zamrin yang tolong saya ni.
Saya rasa tadi isu ni kalau ikut polisi MQA, bagi program sedia ada yang di bawah conventionals, so dia boleh dilaksanakan secara blended learning lah. So meaning that blended learning secara conventional dan secara online lah. So tadi isu lah sebenarnya kalau dia blended learning tu dia memerlukan industrial training, yang dia memerlukan dia kena pergi ke site. So memang tadi isu. Okay.
Okay, saya faham soalan dia. Ya, kadang-kadang ada yang requirement of industrial training. Maybe is it because of the compulsory industrial training contohnya, and dia nak buat secara ODL?
Yes. In fact, kalau program tu program ODL pun, dan di dalam body of knowledge dia required to go to the LI, so it's still under ODL program, so no issue lah. As long memang industry training is required by the body of knowledge, regardless mode of the program, sama ada ODL ataupun conventional. So tak ada isu lah. So maknanya tak semestinya kalau program ODL tu, so dia kena buat secara online, tapi in terms of kalau body of knowledge tu memang dalam standard program spell out benda tu memang required to go to the LI. So maknanya program ODL pun kena patuh lah berdasarkan prinsip tu.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Thank you very much for helping me.
Okay, thanks. Saya rasa itu sajalah kot sesi webinar kita pada petang ini. Saya rasa sebelum saya mengundur diri, on behalf MPA, saya mengambil kesempatan ini untuk sekali lagi saya mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada panel pembentang yang telah memberikan perkongsian dan input yang berguna kepada semua pihak berkepentingan, khususnya PPT bagi menambahbaikkan keperluan program ODL dan khususnya bagi aspek pembangunan SIM yang sangat komprehensif dan efektif. Serta tidak lupa juga kepada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang sama-sama hadir dan menyumbang dalam memastikan kejayaan webinar kita pada petang ini. So diharapkan kerjasama dan sokongan semua pihak kekal berterusan pada sesi-sesi yang akan datang. I think on that note, saya rasa saya akhiri sesi webinar kita pada petang ini, dan insyaAllah kita akan berjumpa lagi pada sesi-sesi yang akan datang. Just please keep update dengan kita punya portal MQA. Kita akan inform lah on the notification kalau ada series of webinar dan sebagainya. So actually maklumat-maklumat berkenaan training dan lifetime itu kita boleh dapati idea daripada kita punya MQA portal, daripada kita punya FB, dan itu juga daripada YouTube lah. Okay, saya rasa itu saja. Untuk sebelum kita tutup, akhiri atau tangguhkan sesi webinar ini, mungkin saya rasa kita boleh ambil gambar siup dengan Prof, screenshot sekejap untuk pihak admin.
Okay, boleh. Saya pun nak ucapkan thank you kepada MQA. Thank you so much for inviting me for this interesting sessions. Okay, saya pun rasa intrigued juga untuk join tadi, macam excited tu ada, tapi at the same time nervous juga tengok sesi pagi ramainya yang attend. So alhamdulillah, thank you very much for inviting me. I look forward for future collaboration with MQA, insyaAllah, for any new next sharing, insyaAllah. Okay, thanks. Terima kasih Prof. Untuk makluman juga kepada para peserta yang kalau ingin melihat kembali recording sesi Zoom pada hari ini, boleh melihat di channel YouTube MQA lah, MQA Malaysia channel di YouTube. So mungkin boleh go through balik in terms of step by step cara nak buat editing atau video menggunakan OBS application tadi. Saya rasa itu saja Prof. Terima kasih sekali lagi daripada MQA, dan saya ingin memohon maaf sekiranya ada sebarang salah dan silap ataupun sebagainya sebagai kekurangan semasa menjayakan sesi webinar pada petang ini. Okey, terima kasih semua dan stay safe. Okay, terima kasih Prof. Thank you Cik Zamrin, Salim and all the urusan MQA. Stay safe, take care everyone. Assalamualaikum.